Shout out to USARK and all USARK members. If you don't know what USARK is, don't be ashamed. Just go ahead and click the third link in the description below. See what USARK is all about, okay? You never know when legislations are going to hit your backyard, so that's why it's very important to consider becoming a USARK member today. These numbers really do matter, and they look at it for consideration when it comes to battling legislation. So first and foremost, thank you, Phil Goss. Thank you to anybody out there who partners up and volunteers with USARK organization. Thank you for anyone out there who's a USARK member. And if you can't become a USARK member today, please talk about it on your platforms. Let your neighbors know, let all your pet stores know what USARK is here for, and it's here to fight for our animal rights. Thank you to every USARK member and USARK supporter out there.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Trap Talk Reptile Network, the coolest reptile network in the world. Episode 653, new breed on the block. Round 2, new breed on the block with Morphinary Arts. My man Brock with me, of course. One and only, Biggie, Top G. Feel Reno Reptiles. What's good, player?
Yo, what's up, everybody? What's up, big dog?
Look like you've been fasting all day.
I have.
Big day tomorrow, huh?
Yeah. First colonoscopy going down. Everyone out there, take care of yourselves. Do the right thing. Just check. Screen. Learn the proper age for screenings and whatnot. Get it done.
Because people at some point have to, people try to avoid getting shit done until something happens.
Yeah,
and then it's like, oh yeah. And so I have family members like that, bro. We were talking about Hispanics, how they're stubborn and they don't want to, they rather not know. But I'm like, dude, that's a dangerous game to play. You know what I mean?
That ain't me. I'm doing everything I got to do to make sure I take care of business, and taking care of yourself is part of that.
I kind of hope you overheard misinformation when you were hearing either doctors or nurses say that they want the preferred age to be 40 instead of 45 is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Damn.
Colon cancer is on the rise, so they are talking about lowering the age to 40.
Well,
yeah.
Guess who turns 40 in August?
Yeah.
Fuck whatever.
But again, that's spec. That's all spec. So, but yeah.
So you could get it done earlier if you want. It's just something that's not fun.
I wanted to get it done earlier, and I was not allowed.
Got it. Okay, right. So it is. So it's an actual age group thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, rooting for you, buddy. Mainly because I just want you to eat again, bro. I know how important eating is.
Hey, but I'm gonna tell you guys this, man. The mind is everything.
Yeah, for sure.
I know I can't eat, so yeah, I smell it. I want it, but I won't. It's that simple.
Yeah. Wait, so your last meal was when? Yesterday?
Yesterday, fucking
air-fried
meatballs and protein pasta at 8 p.m. last night.
So you didn't even eat anything like bad. You ate something healthy was your last meal. So
well, I mean, I don't usually eat pasta anymore, but we decided to get something with a lot of calories. So
yeah. All right. Well, rooting for you, big dog. I'm excited to have Brock back on the show tonight. It's round 2 as far as being on New Breed on the Block goes. What do you know about what's been shaking with Brock lately?
Nah, man. He's doing his ultra game. And
very heavily in the ultra.
Yeah. Chad's one of my best friends. Chad. Brock. Yeah. I just said Chad in the chat. Chad's cool too. Okay.
Yeah. No,
Brock's one of my best friends. We are constantly talking in a private chat and in the V Unit chat. He's a real honest guy. He's got some things to let off his chest tonight. He's an analytical guy. This guy knows, he's really into shit. So much like we are, I'm into all these numbers and stuff. He's someone to really pay attention to.
And if it's one thing about number guys that, from what I can tell, straight shooters, man, like you get what you get straight from the point. And I like that with Brock. There's no sugarcoating. Same with you, obviously. I don't like sugarcoating anything really, like when it comes to speaking about stuff. And I get it. Like, you know, I feel like this hobby is kind of built off people being sugarcoaters. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, we're grown ass men doing this shit. So we got to speak on how we got to speak sometimes.
Yeah.
I am gonna say though, he's gonna be pissed, bro. Like, so when I brought him on the Morph Market show not too long ago, I forgot the name I called him, but I called him some other fucking name too. So not only did you just call him something completely that's not his name, so did I not too long ago.
No, but I was saying something in the chat to Chad, and I messed up, but he knows it's all love. We call him Big Shug.
Girls, yeah, 100%.
What the hell was I gonna say? I forgot now.
All right. Well, you know what? I don't want to waste much time, so I just want to remind you guys that, you know, you guys can listen to a new episode under the Trap Talk Reptile Network every day of the week, Monday through Sunday. So you can listen to any of these episodes on all major audio platforms. There's Buzzsprout, there's Spotify, there's Apple Podcasts. So wherever you listen to any of these episodes, thank you so much. Don't forget to rate and review and subscribe on all audio platforms as well. I do want to say shout out to tonight's sponsor, the Reptile Super Show, happening this weekend. Oh my God, already another Reptile Super Show going down January 27th and 8th at the Pomona Fairplex, and 300 plus vendors. This is going to be one for the books. Spoke to Rami today, and it's going to be huge. Okay, I'm going to be rolling deep. I won't be vending, but I will be there in attendance with a bunch of other amazing keepers. So if you want to link up, hit me up on Instagram at TrapTalkGod619. Let me know you're going to be there. I'll have some cool merch on me as well. So if you want to get your hands on some really cool merch that I'm just now going to be releasing, not even released yet, make sure you go link up with me at the Reptile Super Show this weekend. And make sure you head over to the USARK auction that's going to be going down at the Reptile Super Show. Every Super Show has an auction Saturday right after the show ends. And I know that the USARK auction is going to be right there, only one building away from where the show's being held, a 2-minute walk. So very close to the building, and I cannot wait to see a lot of you familiar faces, new faces this weekend at the Reptile Super Show. You get all your tickets at the reptilesupershow.com, and you can also follow them on Instagram to be on top of all current updates and everything like that. And yeah, the LA Pet Fair is going to be going down again. 3 huge freaking buildings, man, and there's whole things with plants happening outside. So you guys are going to definitely get your fix, all pet lovers, this weekend at the Reptile Super Show. Thank you, Rami, and thank you to the entire Reptile Super Show family. Big E, you ready or what, man? We got mad V Unit family members and mad trappers in the chats. I'm not surprised, dude. Brock always brings a crowd, dude. People fuck with Brock. You know what I'm saying? And you know, at the end of the day, I think because they like to say so.
People love honesty.
Thank you. I was gonna say people like the truth
and authentic people.
And that's why you just can't fuck with the trap when it comes to the truth, right?
Right.
Because the truth is undisputed. Hey, guys, do me a favor. Do what you gotta do to get your mind right. Do what you gotta do to stay hydrated, because I'm not even supposed to be on a podcast right now. I'm supposed to be on freaking Trap Fest vacation, but I'm not missing this episode for Brock number 2, new breed on the block. Let's go. Choo.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, God love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it.
And we're live. Hide your pastels. Hide your sunsets. It's not.
Yo,
safe.
yo, yo.
It's not safe.
Hide your monarchs. What it
Hide
do?
Hey,
Rock,
Hey.
welcome back.
What up?
hey, the homie loves Ultra Sunset. Let's make that perfectly clear.
I do. I have a clutch of Ultra Sunset coming. I like Ultra Sunset.
Well, he's not a liar. He's not gonna lie to himself. I love Ultra Sunset.
The shit's nice.
Amazing. Yeah, it's beautiful.
The shit's nice.
Yeah.
Sunset sucks, but Ultra Sunset is nice.
Dude, glad you're back here on New Breed on the Block, Brock. I feel like it's been a while. I know you've been a part of some episodes we've had, but like, what's going on with you, man? How's
Bro, let me tell you. First, thank you again, as always, for the opportunity. You know, this is my 5th time on Trap, and the first 2 years I was in this, and then the Trap fam I was watching, I always was like, man, one day I'm gonna get on there one time. One day I'm gonna get on there one time. Look at me, back for a 5th time.
Yeah, we love having you, dude. I told Emilio months ago, I'm like, we need Brock back because it's like, trust me, I love the people we have on, but I feel like we have to dig hard for like the truth sometimes, and I just want to hear. I just want to hear what it is. That's it, you know.
Hey, this one's gonna be interesting because I know there's probably gonna be some shit said that's gonna be clipped, and the other side is the ops. They're gonna target at it and they're gonna pick at it. I don't really give a fuck. So
I didn't know you had ops. I'm confused. What's going on,
bro? Y'all got ops. I got ops. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. Thank you.
Sorry.
Finally, no, you're
you know
good.
how it is.
Yeah. But okay, well, first and foremost, the current state of everything. How are you viewing things at this point? I mean, you are a good follower of the show. You know, we brought in multiple different levels of keepers at this point. But how are you looking at things right now, Brock? Like, what's your stomach telling you? What's going on?
I mean, which side do we want to get into first? I'll talk on the brief side of the community, the hobby as a whole. I told Emilio this all the time. There's so many days that I'm like, bro, I fucking hate having to interact with some of this stuff, man. Like, a big thing for me is honest, truth, straightforward, like being real. And one of my biggest pet peeves in the world is hypocrisy. And so when I walk around and I see people that were, 3 years ago all on the same side against somebody talking about how they weren't shit, and then now they're in their comments, they're on their shows, they got pictures with them and all that shit. That doesn't sit right with me. And the politics, everything was all hunky-dory when everyone was making money. And we'll get into that side a little bit later, right? Everybody was on the same team. Yeah. But then when that money dried up, right, and it became the struggle that everyone's going through now, now everybody wanted to switch up. Everybody wanted to be jealous. Everybody wanted to think they had to get a piece of their pie. I fucking hate that, bro.
Well, that was actually that was the truth from the beginning. They just had it like you said, when the things were going good, the money was good, all that was being disguised. But when shit hits the fan, that's when the truth comes out. The colors start to leak through these people, and that's why it's a little lonely at the top, dude. Like, eventually you just gotta all right, good luck. You know, I gotta wish you the best, and I gotta just grow from this because I don't got time to be, first and foremost, who has times to be hanging out in comment sections? That's fucking wild to me, first and foremost. But yeah, go ahead and continue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, like, where we've gone to. Like, you got this segment of people that like hates on and loves to like just talk shit about Justin, right? Like, they live for this. Like, he couldn't be more wrong. And I posted this thing up in my story the other day. I tagged Emilio in it. It's from a J. Cole line, and it's like, if you're sitting around hating on a millionaire, like that's something's wrong with you. Like, what are we doing here? Like, we're really walking around talking shit, saying shit about the guy, the reason the game is as big as it is today, the guy that continues to push the boundaries, the guy that makes more money than the 90% of you combined ever will. Come on, what are we doing?
Yeah,
what are we doing?
What do you have to say, Emilio? Your eyes tell a lot of things right now.
I posted the man in a shirt 20-something years ago because I feel like a lot of these new people have to see that people have built this through passion for the animals into something huge, right? Yeah. And then on top of that, they built opportunities for you, and you're talking shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know, man.
It's getting old. I'll tell you that much.
Disgusting. It's disgusting to me. Yeah. Fix your life.
It permeates
before
the entire
you
industry,
talk about someone else and people that support someone else that got their shit straight, fix yourself.
Okay, so guys, let's look at this statistically, since you guys are both number people, right? Not like statistically, people like this do not last much longer in this game. The ones that sit and just fucking hate on anything that's positive in this hobby, that's moving and growing this hobby, that have nothing but little stones to throw all the time from fucking comment sections. Eventually, their group of others that are down for that negativity, it gets smaller. And that's what's happening, bro. I'm noticing a lot of these bottom feeders, the groups that used to be a lot bigger, they're a lot smaller now. There's still people there just fucking booing from the goddamn nosebleeds, but it's a lot of the other people that were around that shit are kind of over it. They're kind of don't want to be a part of that shit. And so it's starting to just get really played out at this point, bro. Because mind you, like I said, there are people in here actually doing things business-wise, you know, and changing their life over it. And me and Amelia are two of those people. So that's why that's why we sit back and we're almost like, dude, to be so negative on a hobby that could change your life, it's pretty fucking crazy.
And let me say something real quick. Anyone that hates on MJ, bro, MJ is the standard bearer of podcasting. Yeah. You copied him. You all are copying him. Okay?
I honestly got flattered, but it's all good.
Anyone that's mad at Justin, you're all copying him.
Yeah. Facts.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Wake up. Fix yourself. Boom. Let's go. Let's move on from that.
Right. Be your own version. That's it. No big deal with that. That's kind of what this is all about. But and another thing too, before we kind of shift gears here, I do want to say what sucks is like this kind of energy almost makes people shy to support what Justin is also doing sometimes. And they almost feel like, wow, I almost can't be supportive because if I say something, I'm going to be someone who's considered sucking Justin's dick, as they as they like to say so aggressively in podcasts. But it's funny how they never singly call anybody out when saying that. First and foremost, you know, they talk very broadly of who's sucking Justin's dick. I would like to hear someone say that I am. Please say it. If you're talking about me, say it. You can say it. You ain't got to be fucking, you know, chicken shit about it. I'll say it if I had to. You know what I'm saying? But that kind of speaks everything. You know, it's like throwing stones and like turning your back, and you're looking at who the fuck just threw that, and you're just like, okay, and you just keep moving. That's all you could do.
It's what's crazy is what's happened over the last year. You know, we've taken what the best part of this hobby is. The second best part, you know, the animals are the best part and always should be. But we took in what the best part of this hobby was, the community and the connections and the people we built, and it's turned into the worst part. I've completely removed myself from the majority. I stay in your guys' chats, right? But I don't talk in a lot of the chats. I just go online. I post my picture for the day because I still have engagement to make and I still need to make sure people understand what I'm doing because I've still got animals to sell at the end of the day. And I'm still proud of the production that I'm making, right? But I'm not out there. I'm not out there watching the lives. I'll catch you when you have a big guest because that's different. You know what I mean? But I don't watch these other lives. I'm not out there in comment sections. I have a hard time like interact. It makes me want to quit on days because like just complete. Let me just go into my hole and just sell animals because y'all fuck this shit up. It's so bad. And for someone like me who like keeps it real, I got to stop myself from popping off half the time because in the end of the day, I'm still the figurehead of a business that I'm still trying to sell product for. So I keep a lot of my opinions to myself. But believe in a different world, you would all get shugged out on a regular basis.
Oh,
and I wish a motherfucker could come to me and tell me like I don't keep it real. I'm not honest. I'm not open. I'm not 100%. You got shit on me. You can't say shit. You don't like Ultramel. Suck a dick, bro. If you don't like Ultramel, I don't care.
Wait a minute. Oh wait, I do like Ultramel. Woof, thank you.
Hey, real quick, because we're getting kind of crazy in here. Let me say this. An OG messaged me today, and he's very humble, right? And I told him straight up, listen, you ain't gotta like us. You ain't gotta like Justin. You ain't gotta like a guy. You don't gotta like MJ. You don't gotta like Emilio, Brock. Okay? But I'm gonna say this. You need to respect the body of work.
Yeah. Because if you don't, you look foolish. You just look you look like a little bitch ass hater. That's it. And why do I look like that?
There is a body of work that is irrefutable. That's it, guys.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy though too for MJ though? Like the more people that hate him, it's almost the better because every one of them haters that want him canceled, they know everything he said. They're all watching. They all still look. Every one of them wants to be a part of this. Every one of them gonna see this. That's how I know I'm gonna get clipped and people are gonna talk shit.
But
Other
listen,
people are gonna be saying something because they want to watch because they can't leave it alone.
This realization that's kind of sinking in, not that you didn't already see this coming, Brock, but this stuff that you're thinking, I saw this kind of activity in 2017. Like, this is just, you're always going to have some sort of group of people who are in a fucking cloud that just like to be fucking dwellers, and they like to complain at anything that's the fucking successful part of this hobby. Like Miguel, I didn't think, I had latched on to Miguel so much because everyone was hating on about like calling him one hit wonder and he's just using his money, which, you know, could have easily been the case, but he proved so many people wrong. And for him to prove people wrong gave me every fucking bit of motivation to do the same thing with the podcasting. And so, and if you're sitting in here trying to hate on Miguel in 2025, how? Like, what? Like, look at yourself. The guy is so inspiring and he brings in so many people. How the fuck can you hate on that guy? People will somehow do it. Because
bro, how can anyone, unless you're abusing animals, like having 16-month animals that weigh 170 grams, fuck that. Fuck that behavior.
Yeah, right.
I'll hate on that. But if you're not doing that, then why are you hating on anybody? Like West Coast Reptiles just said, it came in 2022, 23, and everybody was still cool. But now, like, you have to pick sides, bro. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like in a community as small as it is, we need to be divided. Get the fuck out of here. I've said that on many podcasts for the last 2 years. You can't be divided, bro. We all need to be on the same page. But for some odd reason, it's not that big of a hobby. We have such a small, and it's shrinking by the day because motherfuckers got lied to, so they have no choice but to cut bait and run. Well, we'll get into that. But like what are we doing here? And when do we stop? And that you can't do that. We got too many egos to do that. While the rest of us are out here cooling and we're just winning, you want to have that ego and be pissed off still.
Well, I mean, listen, the podcasting space is such a big space in life. There's so many things you could podcast about. I scratch my head on why some of these people are even podcasting in the reptile world when it's not even about reptiles. And it's like, what do you even do with the reptiles is my fucking biggest thing. Like, what's your purpose? I don't understand. If you are louder than your collection in the reptile world, then you are a part of the problem. Okay. It's about you. It's not about your snakes. It's not about the animals. It's about you. And those are the biggest ones fucking talking shit, are the ones who are about themselves. The ones that they want the eyes on them. They are so sick of not getting the attention because they don't have the collection. They don't have the projects. They don't have the pairings. They fucking can't even produce a ball python. So now what? What do they have to lean on? Talking shit. So God bless. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. I think both of you know, 2 years ago, I saw this coming. The infighting.
You called it. You called it a long time.
Yeah, sure. The infighting. It was gonna get harder. It is what it is.
Yeah. But check it out. So much more to focus on, right? Like your Ultramel projects. Like so much things that we can even talk about that are exciting to be a part of the ball python world. Shout out to Daniel, but he said community is like the worst part. For but it could be the best part. And I think it all depends on how you look at things. The fact that you kind of disconnected from so many of that shit, Brock, probably made your life a lot easier.
Oh, hell yeah.
and even I have to do that from time to time. The only chats I attend to on a daily basis is my own trap chats. And then I also fuck with the V-Unit chats, but I don't have much mental space. Because me and Emilio, even within our own chats, have to deal with shit where we look at each other like, oh my God, what did that person just say? And then we have, so we have our own like community that we are trying to coach and mentor. I ain't got time to go fucking be anywhere else. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? So you literally got to protect your headspace and your energy up here now, bro. You can't. People don't deserve it. They really don't.
And I think a lot of that has to do, like we said, it was different when everyone was being successful and making money, right? Your headspace was always in a good spot. But now when you have all these people that are struggling, that are having a hard time, they can't sell an animal. They're sitting there looking at an animal they paid 10 grand for, where offspring is worth $600, and there's no path to ever make that money back. Now you're in a bad headspace on top of wanting to go out there. I get why people quit on a regular basis, like going on the title of this, and I get why people get in that headspace, but you got to be better than that. You got to understand you still have the privilege to work with these animals, to fuel your passion. Mistakes were made, lies were told, you spent more money than you should have. Okay. Yeah. But we still have the privilege of working with these animals, and just make smarter decisions moving forward and enjoy it and bring that feeling back, because you were excited about it in the beginning when you thought you were going to make 100K. Why are you not excited about it today that you can only make 10? You're still making the animals. You're still getting to produce things that you dreamed of.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, like I said, on the other end of the thing, community is the best. If we talk about just the V unit, the trappers, and even people that we talk to at shows, that's what makes community everything. And that's so much. That's enough just to focus on first and foremost. And that's kind of I feel like that's the idea. Like if people like us have so much more to focus on, I think that's what we should do is just focus on that and leave all that other shit to fucking because misery loves company and let them just do their thing, bro. Like God bless. Like
let me say this in our groups, our main thing is to make our people better.
That's it.
Telling them the truth,
bro,
and have no misinformation. We don't push animals on nobody. We are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're mad at me on a daily. People want to get mad at me. Oh, you're painting pastel. There's nothing wrong with pastel. Go look at how many pastel animals sell, and the ones that do, go look at the price they sell for. You got no desirability on that, even if the animal looks good. Sorry, I've been telling you for 2 years. You could have saved yourself. Don't bitch at me when you can't sell a pastel clown today.
If you're wondering who started that, it was us two right here.
Yep.
Yeah, but then what happened after that? Every episode, I don't hate pastel.
I don't.
Bro,
I don't.
Some of the animals look good, but it's not smart business.
It's in 7% of my collection, not 35% like the rest of the freaking market.
But listen, I don't want to get off this topic yet, Brock, because you came in the meat potatoes era where a lot of these other people are checking out. Like you're a part of the era which we call COVID breeders. And you're a part of people that were once all excited to be a part of this, and now they're fucking gone. How does that make you feel, first and foremost? And where are you at with like your involvement in the hobby mentally wise? Like, do you still see yourself here in the next 10 years? Is it hard to look that down the road?
So for me personally, I will be in this for life. There's no way I'd ever get out of it. I have too much. When I cut that clutch the other night, and I'm like, I expected that girl not to prove out, and for God only knows what reason we didn't test her, but it was the old school way, and it was fun. And all of a sudden, you open, there's an ultrapide in there. Like, you can't that feeling doesn't. You can't duplicate that feeling doing anything else. Every day that I get to come in here and handle the animals and I learn more about them, and there's nights, I got shit to do. Girl wants me to go to bed, and I'm sitting there just opening tubs, playing with animals, seeing shit because I love that, and I love it. There's nothing that can make me not do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I sympathize, and I came from before, like a year ago. I'd be like, man, these people, they're selling all their animals. They didn't give a shit about the animals. It was all about the money, man. I get them out of here anyway, right? But now, as we've kind of gone through, I can sympathize a little bit more. Actually, I have a lot of sympathy for those people because there's nobody got into this if they didn't like the animals, right? If you weren't passionate about the animals. I refuse to believe that somebody spent 50, 60, 70, 100, 200, $300,000 on ball pythons if it didn't start with a love for the snakes and this passion and fascination with them, okay?
Yeah.
So I apologize before if I ever said you never gave a fuck about the animals to anybody that quit. I didn't mean it. I take it back. So you went into it with this thought, but then during that COVID breeder era, what you ended up having is, and I told Emil about this. I went back and saw a lot of these like old YouTube videos and shit from irrelevant people that were getting a lot of views at the time because there was only so much content.
Yeah.
But they're out there telling you, buy a female clown, buy a male clown, grow them up. In 2 to 3 years from now, you pair them together, you make 6 snakes. That's $6,000. That's $3,000. You're gonna get $500 an animal. This is the information that was being told.
Yeah.
You take this banana and you take this pastel and you breed them together. It's $2,500. Like, there are videos on this. I can still go back and find them. So everybody was kind of told this, and you were fed this lie about how much money you were going to make. So it went from these people that developed this passion during COVID because we were all trying to find something to do, right? We were trying to find something new to do, and you got in this, and all of a sudden they got sucked in because we had this black swan event where everything was selling and prices were skyrocketing, and everybody just kept wanting to sell more. And you sold all these people this dream that they were going to make all this money. So you have all this influx in breeders. You quadruple the number of breeders you have in the game. And they all, instead of just getting 10, 15 animals and enjoying themselves, they all end up getting 100, 150, 200 animals. They want to drop 80 clutches, 100 clutches. Because
that's the norm around them. That's what
that was what was being told to them. That's what they were being told. All you got to do is spend this money, and you're going to triple it. You're going to triple it. The animals are going to sell themselves. And you get this group of people that ended up thinking that this is what it was, right? And they were just buying whatever. It wasn't even like they were making collections that made sense. So you got all these codom animals, all these bad animals, all these animals that become undesirable. Then they move forward 2 years, and it's 2023, and they're starting to produce animals, and the market's now downturning. And all of a sudden, they hit all these animals, and they're hitting a bunch of codom animals. They're hitting all these pastel clowns and shit like that. And you got animals that back then, when I first got in, like a breeder clown, for example, a breeder female clown, was $3,000. It was $3,000 with pastel. You can't get rid of one for $200 today. They go on auction for $200 and they get no bids. I've seen it happen. So if you're that person who in 2021, 2022 pays $3,000 for a clown, and with 2 years later, the babies that you produce are going for $5 or $10 on auction. You can't sell it any other way. And then the female, you can't even sell a female. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? And there's stories of this rampant across everything. You take a look. A stranger. I looked this up today, so I had like for sure. At the beginning of 2022, a stranger clown female sold for 10 grand. Okay. Nobody was discounting prices then. They were going for fucking list price back then still, right? You grew that animal up for 2 years. Who knows? I don't even know who bought it, but let's say they didn't get to go until this year. This is the first year they're going to get a clutch out of it. It goes 6 eggs. Three of them are stranger combos. You can get a stranger clown for $450 right now on Morph Market. You pay 10 grand for that girl. I understand where people's disgruntledness and where their feelings come and where they go, but you got to accept that was you made poor financial decisions. I did it too.
We all. I think it affected everybody though. That's the thing. Like, here's the thing. Like, some people, yeah, they got pitched a fucking crazy pipe dream, right? Yeah. But in a sense, like who do we really blame? Because the person who pitched that dream was probably getting pitched themselves, right? 100%. And that's why it's like that chain reaction is so deep, you know. And I got to be honest, bro. There was I have a strong sales background. You know how many times I was on the phone talking to somebody, telling them how super gravel's the future, and that if you buy this het from me, you could probably make $3,000 snakes, which was like 4 years ago, of course, and stuff like that, right? But I was definitely one of those people selling the fucking shit out of snakes, telling people how much money they could make. Only because that was happening to me. I didn't know better. That's what they're telling me. So when this happens to so many people, bro, and then it gets to the point of just fucking dryness, and people, like you said, you get all these dream catchers, right? And then all of a sudden, bro, it just, once it comes down to, can I make any money from this? And you look around and you're like, holy shit. Go ahead, Emilio.
What I say to those comments is, yes, it's going to be really difficult, right? But you could be tactful and pivot in other ways with those animals, and long term, you could try to break even or make money. Making amazing animals is what I pitch. You know? Yeah,
if you make my bad.
If you make money, you have to set yourself up to make money, right? But if you're making the amazing animals, you're building that brand, you could get there. Now, I understand, Brock, you're right. There's animals that people are gonna take the L.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
But you have to, like a guy like you, Brock,
got to adjust. Bro,
you're so tactful. You're on top of your analytics. You where to go. If you bought that stranger clown, I'd bet that you could fucking make it happen.
I think if you were able to take out like time, right? We talked earlier today, right? And as I reflected on it on the rest of my fucking 2-hour drive home because of traffic, I think you're right? It's the people that stay committed to it, as long as you didn't you didn't load your racks up with pastels and codoms only. If you did that, I mean, you're fucked. I hate to be the bearer of bad news when you have 6 spider combos and you bought fucking hot recessives with spider. You're fucked. You did it to yourself. But yeah, if you didn't do that and you have a collection that makes sense, you can get back to even. But at the end of the day, like, doesn't really matter. Like, I accepted that money is gone. I've accepted that money is gone.
That's the thing, right?
I am still I still couldn't be happier. Couldn't be happier with what I'm doing and where I'm producing. I think too many people, they can't do that, right? Because they spent so much money and they were sold this dream about making money, and it's been money, and they forget the animals and the love for the animals and the care for the animals.
Well, they got the animals for the money. You can't do that. You can't get the animals for the money. It has to be because you want to keep them.
And you've got to understand, like you got to accept, like you made a mistake. You weren't as streamlined on projects as you should have been. I've done it 2 years in a row. Emilio knows this. I've gone through my shit and been like, this is not where I should be. This isn't streamlined.
think-
And I sold off a bunch of adults and I sold out of projects.
So I think we all know this, and so do a bunch of adults. And we need to remind ourselves this, especially if you're just coming into the ball python game or the reptile game you want to breed. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably fucking is. And the thing about that, I knew from 2017 that if you could breed this and breed that, you can make X amount of money. And that was happening in my eyes. I'm like, this probably isn't going to last forever. Or like, I just value that money so much. And that's why I was able to grow to what it is today, because I looked at that money like, holy shit, did I just make that money off of breeding these 2 snakes? And even if it's $200, that's $200 fucking dollars off a fucking snake. You know what I'm saying? And so even to this day, if you're doing things the right way, if you can make $1,000 off a snake, you're doing well. That's you're ahead of the game if you're making $1,000 a snake right now. And it's possible.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. It's possible. What's wrong with $1,000 snake? If you can get what, dude, who cares about the combo? I mean, mind you don't want to butcher fucking high-end projects, but like if you could sell shit on a easily $1,000 per snake scale, bro, you're balling. You're doing great. You know what I'm saying? And that's not hard to do. It takes time, and you can't have a timeline on it. The thing is, here's another thing too, fellas. Whenever this time happens where you're making money off snakes, it just happens when it happens. You can't really tell the fucking world or the fucking universe it's going to happen in 2026. It's going to happen. Dude, it happens when it fucking happens. There's no guarantee in any of this too. That, and I will go back to this, Brock. I was kind of like, me and Emilio, we were all in the chats kind of like, wow, another one bite the dust. Like whenever we found someone checking out, like, I was kind of like, in a sense, like looking down on them, but there are some people where my heart goes out to them, because I felt like, damn, they got dealt some pretty fucked up hands, and just bit a little bit more than they can chew. And if you were that COVID breeder biting off more than you could chew, you're probably not here anymore right now. That's just what it comes down to.
And that's what I said when I started off this topic of conversation. Like I apologize to some of those people for the shit that I had talked about on there, because you know what?
Me too.
They got dealt some bad hands, man. You get sold this dream and you're so excited because you just discovered these snakes, and then you're like, fuck, these are amazing. We've all been there, right? These are so amazing. And then you get these people in your ear telling you, look how much money you're going to make. And you can see them making the money. And then it becomes like, so I get to do something I love and make money. Bro, you had people who hadn't produced a clutch becoming full-time breeders. The fuck? When you look back at it, like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Or people, I've made 3 clutches this year. I'm a full-time breeder now. Quit my job.
Or you got idiots.
I'm taking out a mortgage.
Or you got idiots that haven't produced a clutch saying they're experts.
Yeah. It's a whole different story.
Yeah, so, but that's the truth of what's happening right now. It's pretty fucking ridiculous. It's a circus.
So I think so. What you have, right? So we have this black swan event of COVID, right? And you get, breeder numbers. I don't know the exact number, but I got to assume they at least quadrupled, right, of actual people breeding, and you can see it in the numbers. Everyone was celebrating that we were down to 28,000 total ball pythons, bro. There's 28,000 fucking ball pythons in the work market still. We've barely broken 30 in 3 fucking years. There's such a backlog of inventory. The fact that you guys are celebrating 28,000 tells me how fucking delusional you still are. And this is the thing, right? So you take here's the biggest lie that's still being told today to try to suck people in, right? The biggest lie still being told today is the market's going to turn around. Prices are going to go up. I need you guys to look at this from an economical standpoint and with some logic right now. There's still a backlog of 28,000 animals that aren't moving. I need you to understand that, okay? There's still a backlog of 28,000 animals. So besides that, what you're taking now is you expect prices to go up when breeders are going down. Who buys animals that cost more than $300 99% of the time? Emilio?
The average price online is $400.
And who's buying those animals?
Now,
pet keepers or breeders?
Yeah. Anything over $400 is gonna be someone looking to make a return. Yeah.
Okay. So if the number of breeders is going down, right, but the inventory is still going up, and you have all these breeders, with even all the breeders that we lost, you still have triple the breeders that you did in 2020 when the first spike came, right? And all these breeders are producing a boatload of animals still. They're still breeding a bunch of animals. So if you got an animal that's worth $1,000 today, right? You got an animal that's worth $1,000 right now today, but next year, instead of 100 being produced, there's going to be 10,000 of them produced because so many other people now have the animals at the size and everything like that. Even if there was all of a sudden this change and everyone had all their expendable money left, and there's still a 28,000 animal backlog, remember, what in the world tells you that that price is going to go up? What is going to cause that price to go up? We're not going to get an influx of breeders like we did in COVID time, where prices did go up, where all of a sudden you had all these breeders coming in that wanted to buy animals and demand skyrocketed. I hate to tell you that it's not happening unless there's a big black swan event.
Existing combos that are already made and existing animals that are here are not going to go up in price.
The price of DG Clown is not going back to 10,000.
It's not.
No matter how much you think it's going to.
The value in this market is producing animals for the future that are going to increase the value of your collection.
The one thing I would counter on that, though, is we have seen extremely strong building block animals for the future, double visual, double het females that can't get sold, that people are not investing in. And it's nuts to me. Because people were paying 10 grand for that animal a year ago, but now
they won't pay 2 grand.
You can't even get fucking 2 grand on it. And I feel so fucking bad for. I'm not calling names, but I feel so fucking bad for him because that's not why. It's a fucking incredible animal for the future, and somebody doesn't want to buy it. Yeah. We have a problem that nobody refuses to fucking address,
right?
And that's the confidence in the industry and the market. You know, Justin's going to be good no matter what. Because he is still the king, and that's who's going to sell ball pythons. Because the ball python industry ain't going anywhere. It's not dead. It's not going anywhere. It's not dying. People are going to continue to keep working. But if I was going to spend $2,000-$3,000 on an animal, I feel pretty good about buying it from Justin anyway. And I think that's where a lot of people are right now. And the lie that the market's going to turn around and prices are going to go back, it's got to stop. You people out there lying to people to get them to buy more animals and continue to produce more because the market's going to turn around. You know the 2020 to 2022 thing, it happened. It was just kind of what was happening at the time. People were lied to, but I don't think it was intentional. What you're doing now is intentionally lying to people.
By the way,
you're trying to sell animals.
By the way, we are back to pre-COVID times. That's all it is. It's a correction.
You mean we're back to normal?
Yes, back to normal.
Yeah.
And getting back to what's posted on Morph Market, guys, what's posted on Morph Market is not all the ball pythons that are available in the United States of America.
Yeah,
no dynasty, no Snake or Sunset, no Bob Clark.
It could easily be 60,000. Okay, but the reason I bring that up is simple. You need to focus on what you're doing.
Yes.
You need to focus on what's happening in your walls. Impactful, building for the future, getting the right traits into these animals, getting the right combos, keeping the right things out. All right.
Yeah.
And more importantly, you need to be making shit that you like, that you enjoy, that you want to open your tubs and see. You need to be envisioning combos you want. I went through this bad.
Yeah.
Where I bought shit for the market, where I bought things that I thought that people wanted, and this is why I had these combos, and this is why I was shooting for these combos. It wasn't shit that I was into, but I thought I was going to make a return on it. This is not the market to do that in anymore. Yeah. And if you did that, you're fucked on that money if you did that. Yeah. And especially because a lot of those combos, I mean, you can't give away a clown now. A male clown, good luck. That's cribbo food. And how many of those are you still making? Male hets are worthless. I hate to be the one to tell you. Male double hets are worthless.
Not in Mexico. By the way, I got a new wholesale plug that I'm very excited that I just landed. So I got whatever these worthless hets that you're talking about, I got a buyer for them. So
I have a wholesale plug here too, and then anything that he doesn't want, I have cribbos. So
wow,
that's meals.
Yeah, I have stuff going international now every year. That's awesome. You're right, MJ. There is a market for some of this stuff, but you have to get lucky, and you have to have the right connects, right?
Yes,
that
doesn't come overnight either. Yeah, getting the right connects, knowing what to do with stuff that you don't need that does not happen overnight, dude. Okay,
that's also why it's important to be part of
communities.
Communities. People can actually really help you.
Oh, for sure, bro. This is why, it's tough to say. In my eyes, I'm right there with Brock. Right, the animals is why we're here. And that's why and I feel like that we got.
And it wasn't for a long time.
But we got to remember, that's why we're here, right? For the animals. But if you want to talk about what we have to give props to growth, it's the people you surround yourself with. There's no way in hell I would have been able to take things where I'm at today without the connections that I made throughout the way. You know, I would say Barcheck was a huge part of like giving me a leverage of what I needed to fucking get moving on top of Miguel and everything else. But like, you got to put yourself out there. And another thing, right? Even though things are rough right now, if you still should make it out to an NARBC, a Reptile Super Show, a Bill Stiegel fucking party, a Trap Fest, because if you really want longevity in this game, these relationships you build with people, they last forever. Okay, me, Brock, Emilio, like not to be all lovey, but we're like brothers, dude. Like we're a pretty tight knit group. You know what I'm saying? If shit hits the fan, I don't know how many times Emilio's been on the phone ready to talk to me if I'm fucking losing my mind or something. You know, like personal shit. And so that's what you need in this world, bro. Like you can't do this alone. First and foremost, that's another thing. Like people think the deep pockets is all they need to fucking grow in this game. You are tripping. Actually, deep pockets are almost it's almost a bad thing to have because you are going to be biting off way more than you can chew when you have that much money. You know what I'm saying? Because you just you just don't see a lot of things. We all know keeping ball pythons is easy. That's the easy part. Sell the fucking things. That's the hard part. The hard part is making money. You know what I'm saying? But it's fucking doable. You know, if you make a snake that Justin wants to buy, you're on the right track. That's all you got to fucking do. That costs money.
But you got to invest smartly, right? So
yeah, for sure.
And the things that you do, and if you're on a budget like I was, you're going to have to chase odds a little bit, and there is, but you're going to have like a plan for it. You got to understand that. I understand that all these fucking male toss hets that I'm about to make, they're cribbo food. No one's buying that shit now. It sold 3 years ago, but no one's buying that shit now. And
you wouldn't want to auction it off. You would want to just take it straight to
for $5, dude. Like who's buying a male 100% het clown, 66% het ultra male? No, who's buying a male? Who's buying that? Maybe you get a female for someone on a budget.
If it looks pretty, if it looks good.
If they want it for a pet, the problem I have, and the reason why I don't even want to do is I sold all of my like animals like that for like $20 to $30, $50 for pet, and a bunch of people bought them for pets, and I was shocked. They flew off my Morph market shelf. But the people that needed the most aftercare were the $20 pet animal owners, and to me, it's not even worth it. That I just feed a steak. It's a $5 rat. I fed it to my cribbo. Okay, like it's just, is it even worth my time and effort at that point to establish it? To ship it out, to possibly have to refund everything if something happens because FedEx fucking blows. Like,
hey man, I have to say this. Like, I'm gonna tell you guys straight up. I don't want to be shipping any animal that's under $50.
100%.
And I'll go as far as I don't want to sound, because it could sound bad. Honestly, I don't want to ship anything under $100.
There's a point where it's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
So Emilio, in your eyes, like, okay, if I had that problem, you would tell me to just vend them, right? Or like sell them at a show, or what advice would you give me?
I'd rather feed it a little longer and vend with that animal. That's it. I mean,
and the only counter I give to you on that is at where prices are now. And I know they still sell because some people still work on a low budget. So I think they're, especially with the amount you vend, it makes sense. It makes sense. But if you can spend $25, $30 on a normal, or $75 on a banana, what is the pet owner buy?
No, you're right. It has to
$75 isn't enough money.
It has to be the right animal.
Yeah, your pastels, they sell well.
Yeah, a pastel, lesser.
A Mojave.
Yeah. Somewhat a Mojave, because guess what? Mojaves, they're dark, man. People don't look at them the same.
But those normal het and toss het males, man.
Guys, we're talking about something that's a real problem. That's a real problem.
And it floods the market, and it creates all these things. And what do people do with them? It's just, it's unfortunate. We were back in the day, right? And I was talking to you about this earlier. When I bought my Ultra Clown project, it was $1,000, $900 for double het females.
Yeah,
that was the price. I had to spend that much. You fucking a breeder double visual went for under $1,000 yesterday. I had to buy double het babies for $1,000.
Yeah, it's wild.
The market. What are you gonna like? The market is different now, but so many of us are still having, because this is what we could afford at that point. This is what we're going to be working. This is what we're working with now, and I'm okay with it because I have outlets for the misses. All the misses that I make that can't be bought. I'm not going to just sit there and flood Morph market with more undesirable animals. I have outlets for it, either cribbos or have a local Have a local shop you can wholesale to.
Yeah, if I'm gonna say this, if you're gonna force a sale on an auction, hey, auctions are good, okay? They have their place. But remember what an auction is. It's a forced sale. So it's not exactly what that animal is worth. You're forcing a sale. Okay? I think that's important to remind people. So
I was also told this. So tell me if this makes sense. I was also told that whatever is selling price wise on auction on Morph Market, in a sense, is what the value is market wise.
I don't believe that. You're forcing a sale. If
you only have
had
so
more
many people at that moment that are looking at it, and if somebody who is willing to pay 300 doesn't have the 300, is going to go for 200 because that's all somebody else was able to pay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if you gave yourself more time to try to sell that animal, put a little bit more size on it, maybe it sold for it will sell for more.
Depends on the animal. You got to be smart about it.
Depends on
some
the
of them you need to cut bait on.
But
some
remember,
of them you got to cut bait on.
We're seeing all types of shit. We're seeing all types of stuff on there.
Yeah,
auctioning a hypo puzzle, probably not the best idea.
or going on Palm Street with it. Like, come on, man. Like,
yeah, no, that you will get more. You will eventually get more money for that animal. But when you're talking about
what was it that you saw the other day? Cinnamon banana hepide.
Yeah, I should have. I'm fucking mad at myself for not buying it. It was like 4,000 grams.
4,000 grams
left cinnamon banana hepide. It went for $80.
$80.
That steak's gonna make you $500 plus
on Palm
a year
Street.
with ease.
Bro,
I was mad at myself for not buying
a cinnamon banana het pied.
Yeah.
On Palm, like who does that? you actually just paid someone to take that animal from you.
Yeah.
I should have bought it because
but isn't that what Palm Street's for? Like I call it an elephant graveyard for a reason. Yes. Like it's like the last resort. It's like God bless this option, Palm Street, because after this is the freezer.
For ball pythons.
I'm out of space. I have nothing else to do.
That's it. Please take this animal. This is the last resort.
For ball pythons, it is the last resort.
It doesn't work for balls, man. It works for geckos, but
with all due respect, it don't make you look good. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. It's just not a good look when you're selling ball pythons. I'm saying on the high end of things. Like if you're someone if you're trying to make a name in the higher end projects, but you're seeing selling fucking God knows what on Palm Street for almost peanuts. Like, dude, like what?
Krista, it's also for people that got kicked off of Morph Market because they don't know how to ID a snake.
Hey, and then your fees, you're selling a snake for $80. Think about the fees too.
Hey, there's a lot of fees. Remind you, people who don't even like Morph Market still have Morph Market. Okay, so it's mostly people who just can't sell on Morph Market and they got the boots, and so. And let's be real about that. I mean, if you really look deep into the fucking person who pitchforked the original Morph Market fucking feud, that person who publicly said he's no longer going to use Morph Market still has Morph Market. What a fucking clown, dude.
Bro, if you say something, you got to stick to it. You won't ever hear me say something that I'm not real about.
Hey, so
many of these fake goofy clowns out there.
Let me say this: it's working for the gecko community.
They're killing
for the geckos. I bought a couple geckos on there, and I bought a couple geckos for my daughter.
All right, for other,
she's big into them.
Even if it's working for you with ball pythons, I'm happy for you. If you're able to sell them, God bless. I'm just saying, if you want to know what people are thinking, if you want to know what people look at, if you are trying to be on the higher end of things, but then you're just going straight to the goddamn Palm Street route where people who knows who you're vetting or who you're selling to, you know what I'm saying? At least with Morph Market, even though trust me, not everyone's perfect on Morph Market. There's some fucking characters on there as well, but at least there's some sort of a paper trail, or like you could look into some people. Not all of them, unfortunately. Trust me. I mean, I don't got time to look at everybody, but there have been times where I'm able to look up somebody on Instagram who have a Morph Market account and actually make me feel a little bit better who I'm selling to. But then again, you can't manage everything that you sell sometimes.
No.
But at the end of the day, like I said, everyone has different goals. I try to keep my value as high as possible with whatever I work with. That's it. And I just have too much pride, like in my stuff, to just be like, I need to go fucking find someone who will take this free animal. Like, no, dude, first and foremost, I'm a hustler. I know how to sell, and I know how to get this animal into somebody's home because I have that in me. A lot of these motherfuckers that just ain't got it in them, you know.
If you gotta sell ball pythons on Palm, you should probably be producing a lot less of them.
Big time, yes, you're right.
I think it's a good spot. It's a good spot for your byproduct, and I think that would work.
Sure.
I did like a 50 under purge like in the beginning, and it went well. I was able to sell a bunch of like byproduct animals and made $25-30 a piece. I'm not going to do it again, but it worked for that. What you can't going out there and selling any animal that has value, you'll make more on Morph market auctions, and it just doesn't make sense to me to go out there and sell some of that stuff.
Yeah.
If you really had to get rid of that animal, that cinnamon banana probably would have gone for $150 on Morph market.
Listen to what you just said. If you really need to get rid of that animal,
there's a problem in itself.
We should never be in a position where we really need to get rid of an animal.
And that's a problem in itself.
No matter how much we produce, we should be ready to fucking house that snake and feed that snake with zero issues. We shouldn't need to do anything. And the thing is, people need to do a lot of fucking things right now because they can't afford it.
And listen, stick to your guns on the value of what you feel an animal, the value it has. Don't give it away. Bro, you're giving your work away. You're giving everything away. You know,
at the same time, be understanding of what the market is, though, because I still see.
Right.
For example, I've been really trying to watch redhead clowns because I really like what redhead does.
I like redhead.
I want to get it in. That's going to be one of my next purchases. That I really like redhead clowns, and I think it'd go really good with my stranger cypress red stripe stuff. So anyway, aside from that, you watch it, and I see like most of our new ones are getting posted at about $800 now. On auction, they went for $500, and then last night one went for $380, a proven breeder. So this is where the prices are. But then you got somebody who posts one for $2,000, like literally 3 days ago. Did you do no fucking research? Do you still think it's 2023? Like, what are we doing? You can't hold your value if you don't understand what the actual market value is either. You can't just be like, well, I think it's worth $800 because it's worth $800 when everything else is listed at $250. You've got to be realistic also with your expectations.
Well, you also have to compare the look. Is it an A plus animal?
100%.
There's a bunch of different things to put into pricing. How many are available?
My Ultramel will never be the cheapest Ultramel listed because it is the fucking best Ultramel listed.
Yeah, because you have respect you have great work, you have great animals, and you respect your work. You're not going to give it away.
It won't be 50% more. It'll be, $25 more. And if you understand what you're trying to do when you buy that animal and you want to make quality, you're going to spend that $25 or $50 is nothing for you. You're going to buy it because you're going to make quality examples, not these washed out bullshit that looks like a mix of Monarch and fucking Carmel. So,
by the way, little message right here. You need this kind of confidence in your projects, by the way. If you really want to fucking get through any kind of market dip or explosion, if you don't have confidence like Brock has in your projects, it's going to be tough because you're going to have other people in your ear. You're going to be easily distracted and motivated to do different things instead of just honing down and just fucking believe in. Because Brock, how many times have you heard Ultramel hate on this episode, or like something that like you've kept where like it can maybe deter you from wanting to do it, but it doesn't stop you. Like, how many banters have we've had on Ultramel, Monarch, Sunset? The list goes on. There's so many different opinions and tastes on morphs. It should never stop you from wanting to work a project.
I think there's a caveat to it. You have to work what you like. But I mean, if your favorite thing is spider, you also need to take into account what the market really is. Like there's some part where you do have to understand what the market is. But like, I get it. I don't see how anyone could ever look at Ultramel and be like, oh, that's an ugly snake. But there's still some people that do it. I think they're fucking stupid. But hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So some people have different tastes. But it's not going to make me change from what I want to do. If you really love sunsets and that's your thing, and then I come on there and Joe or somebody comes on there and shits on it, who gives a shit? You like sunset, and there's other people out there that still like it. I love Ultramel, and there's other people that out there that like it. If you like Monarch, I hate Monarch, and it's not because it's a comparison between the two of them. I think Monarchs are fucking brown, and they age like shit, and they don't work well with dark genes. But there's other people that love it and think it's incredible. Just because I say that it sucks, and just because I think that it's dumb if you buy a spider Monarch, it doesn't mean you shouldn't breed it. You should go ahead and breed what the fuck you like. There's other people that like it.
I like Monarch, but I've seen some shitty ones. I'm not gonna lie.
There's some examples that when I first saw the spot nose Monarch clown, I was like, man, this is the shit. This is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then I saw an adult Monarch clown, and I was like, that looks like a lesser.
But
that was his. If you don't want your executive producer all up in the videos, come to death row. That was his bro. That Monarch take, holy shit, bro.
Yeah, but I saw personally, I saw some of the nicest adult monarchs at Sebastian and God, what's the other homie's name? God damn it! Oh, his business partner. I'm brain farting.
Andre?
What's his name?
Is it
Sebastian?
Andre?
No, Andre. No. Sebastian. Oh my! I was just at his house. Oh my God, he's probably listening. In the chat.
Shout out JP. Shout out
JP,
JP.
what, JP, why are you here? We're talking about pythons. You don't give a shit. I'm just kidding. Dude, Adam, my bad. Yes.
The minute you said Monarch, Maddox,
here comes all the Monarch
and
people.
JP. I think
that's so funny.
Bilal's my boy.
That's my boy, dog. You're right.
He sold me my first snake. He got me into the game. He sold me my first snake, and he's been a sounding board from me from the beginning. I love him. I'll always amazing monarch.
I'll always defend Monarch because of this guy right here. I'll tell you that right now.
I'll say another thing. Monarch DG is much better than Ultramel DG. Dude. I still think Ultramel DG is a waste of time. I still think it's a waste of time.
What about the Monarchs? What about the Monarch spot nose clown this dude made?
It's fucking sick. No, it's fucking sick. Crazy. I think it's awesome. It's fucking sick. The adults I've seen. Sorry, JP, maybe I haven't seen all of them. The adults that I've seen, I don't like the way they look. I think they age shittily, and they don't age as well as an Ultramel does. But maybe I just haven't seen the right ones.
Hey, I just want to say, hold on. I just want to say, Adam, I'm sorry I forgot your name. I think you're awesome. My bad. I just want to make that clear.
Hey, simply put, I think that we should stop comparing both genes. They're completely different.
They're different. They're absolutely different.
I don't think we do that no more. But still, there's always going to be that team this, team that, and only because of the era, there was that influence where you almost had to pick one or the other. And if you're a baller, you'd have both first and foremost. Like if you really want to be top dog, you'd have both going on in your collection, like Showcase does. So
they're completely different, especially after seeing really big females, single gene girls I saw. They are so different. It's not even worth comparing them. We need to stop that shit.
Hold on. Are you saying that the big single gene girls didn't look that great?
I think they're not comparable.
Okay, JP thinks you don't know.
Hey, I'll be nice. They're not comparable.
JP thinks you don't know shit if you don't.
But that Dark Knight Monarch clown.
Oh, that thing was ridiculous. That thing was dumb. That Dark Knight Monarch was retarded.
So I'm gonna balance you out, a little bit, bro. I'm gonna balance you out.
So good.
Balance you out. Oh, Amelia.
I have been on multiple podcasts saying I like Monarch clowns better than I like Ultra clowns. It's babies. The adult Monarch clowns I've seen, I don't like the way they aged versus the adult Ultra clowns that I've seen. But I think I like Ultra Pies better than Monarch Pies. I think they both have their strengths, and instead of comparing them, work them both. They're two different morphs. They do two different things.
Yeah.
And I think that they both have different strong suits. So
and also, guys, you gotta remember there's so much Monarch we haven't seen yet. There's a shit ton. So Ultramel's well ahead of the curve.
Ahead.
Hey, straight up, I hang up. I need to tell y'all, I can't wait to see a Sunset Monarch. I want to see it.
I think it might be better. I think it might be better than Sunset Ultra.
I don't think so.
It'll be darker. I think it's going to be darker and look better.
Yeah, but darker.
But why are we comparing again?
Darker's not good with Sunset, though.
Why are we comparing?
I think with that orange, when you go to an all orange base, though, I do think the darker is better. Most of the people that talk Sunset Ultra are like looking forward to putting dark genes into it. I agree. Dark Sunsets don't work, but I do think Dark Ultra is going to work.
Yeah,
I got a Sunset for Brock. I'm going to pull up. Sorry, keep going to me. What were you gonna say?
No, we don't have to compare it. I want to see that animal because I think it's gonna be dope as fuck.
I agree.
You know,
I 100% agree.
And I don't have to compare it to Ultra Sunset. We don't have to continue to do that. That's my point. You know,
I think naturally people are going to because they're similar and they're in that same vein.
Yeah, not a lot of people can afford to work both. That's a lot. Those are two heavy projects.
And it was pitted against each other because it made it engaging, and it created we're in this world where engagement and content is what matters. So if you can come up with a clickbaity type of thing, or you can create heat around something using a professional wrestling term, if you can create heat, that's what's going to draw people in. So anytime you can cause that and you can bring people into that and say that, and it's funny, there was this fucking new group chat that got started where everyone started shitting on Ultramel and talking how Monarch was better because it was a more a Monarch crew in there. Whatever, it's all good.
Hey,
it don't matter to me. It's not going to change what I'm doing. I'm not going to go sell out my Ultramel and go buy Monarch now. So,
hey, Bilal wants you to start bashing.
Yeah.
Maple.
Oh, yeah. What's up with that? What's up with that, Maddox? I heard today that they were compatible. That Maple was compatible with Ultramel. Now, is it genetically different still, or is it just Ultramel with a $10,000 price tag?
Time out.
I'm quite curious.
What the fuck is maple, dude? Like maple
Corey,
syrup?
Corey Woods.
When did
Corey
she come out with
Woods made a T positive animal that looks exactly like an Ultramel, in my opinion, that he was calling Maple and saying it was a new line. But apparently, someone recently just proved out that it's compatible with Ultramel, which most likely means it's Ultramel.
Corey Woods? I like that guy. So basically, it's not its own gene, is what you're saying.
I don't know. I don't think that it's been genetically proven that it is or isn't yet. I just, from what I heard, and I don't know any of this shit firsthand, I heard it second and third hand, that it was just proven to be compatible with Ultramel. Which, in this weird genetic world, it could still be a different gene, because technically Ultramel has 2 different genetic mutations that are compatible with each other. So,
I will say one thing about Corey Wood. If you go to his page, it's like a blast from the past every time. Like the guy just doesn't change. Like everything is like 2016, 2015. Like the blue. I kind of like it. Even it's
consistent. It's consistent.
Yes,
nothing distracting. It's
Hey,
consistent.
that's another.
I like it.
That's another OG that's got mad respect from me.
Yeah, me too.
I will say that some people need to be more careful with saying something's new going forward. You know, be more careful with that.
It won't.
Well, the thing is, if when it comes up, right? So the king of this is Hurricane, of course, right? You took an existing gene, you were really good at marketing it, made really nice lines of it, and made everyone believe it was different, and made a shitload of money off of it. So anytime, again, because there's just too much money wrapped up in this, and anytime there's money, you have an opportunity for people to do shit. Anytime they find something that comes up, why would you go through the process of verifying it? Because if you can market it and sell it well enough and make your money off of it, you won. You're going to get a lot less of that now with genetic testing, because it's going to be a lot quicker to prove or disprove that. But I don't think that's ever going to change, because in the end of the day, everyone's still trying to make a buck.
I think people will be much more careful going forward with shit
I
testing.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Brock, one thing I respect about you is like the way you shop on Morph Market. Like you got an eye for, fuck ups for sure. But like, when you see somebody who's selling something on Morph Market, and the mistakes seem to be something like on a regular basis, I mean, would you capitalize on that, or would you just fucking like kind of just like not do business with that person? I'm just, because I see quite a bit of it, and I know you do too. So I don't know, like, and what's your advice for anyone out there who maybe is listening right now and maybe has a lot of errors on their Morph Market?
Yeah, so there's a lot of them out there.
And leaving out pastel is not player. We know you're leaving out things.
So many people leave out pastel, and that's why when anybody tries to continue to defend breeding pastels, then why is it being left out on the ads, and why are you not saying that it's in there? Like, it's very obvious why you're not saying it, because it's an undesirable gene at this point. Even if it looks good, there's just so much of it, people don't want it.
Yeah.
Even in the combos that it looks good in. And I'm not saying that it looks bad and everything. I've made a couple pastels. I got my next clutch I'm cutting on Thursday. Oh yes, Jade, 100%.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Pompeys lately.
Yeah, they're 3 gene Pompeys. But I think you've got to be, and this hurts your name. And if you sell something, and I've seen enough of it, dude. Okay, without mentioning names, somebody I know had 6 lace animals. Every one of them tested negative for lace. Every one of them.
Did that person make it right or no?
It got made right. It was 2 different breeders. It all got made
right.
I
think I know who you're talking about, by the way. Somebody hit me up asking if we could air this out, and I was like, I'm good. I don't, but I think
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
But it was made right. It was made more than right, and that was awesome.
That's what matters.
And I will say that, but you can't build back that time, and you can't build back because the pairings were already being made this year, and now you're going to make a bunch of shit mediocre animals because you didn't have what was being sold to you. And I think that lace is a different one, because there's a whole bunch of going on in there where the black pastels and lace were looking super and they weren't, and people were selling super laces that weren't, and the breeders were breeding them thinking everything was a lace. That's a whole fucking story, right? But what you end up having is you do enough of that, and especially on some of these other combos, and then you're in a position where you can't easily make it right, or you're really trying to not make it right. Like, you have to be more careful, and this is where it kind of goes back to a conversation we were having earlier about surrounding yourself with the right people and having a good community, because you get that backup. Most of my animals, Emilio sees every animal that I hatch, and then I'm running by him. Do you think it's this? Do you think it's that? And he helps me ID some of my animals before I fucking list it as a fuck up. And I think that's extremely important. So when you go and you see somebody listing something that's wrong, if you know them and you have a relationship with them, I think it's okay to message them and give them your opinion and what you see. If you don't know them, that's tough. And I tried that one time and it didn't get received well, and I understood not to do that again, because they're confident in what they're doing, and they also have egos, and egos that are killer in men, and they don't want to hear that shit. And I saw that shit with Ultramel stuff. Like, that is not what you think it is. I've hatched that combo out. That is not that.
Yeah, buyer.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Buyers beware, okay? Because you got people out there even selling so-called scramblers from animals that didn't even come from so-called scrambler lines, just because they think it's scrambler.
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute. Okay? Animals that were bred, okay, were from a specific breeder that hasn't even said he has scrambler.
Yep.
Hasn't vouched for scrambler.
And are we even on the part where we're not even sure that scrambler is actually really a gene? There's still a debate on that.
Buyers, beware.
I'm just saying, man, there shouldn't be this much to prove with nothing to show yet.
Well, it's crazy. It's crazy too when people have. Yeah, I 100% agree. But going on that mis-ID thing, it's really funny when you see somebody. It's like a two gene animal to a one gene animal, and you mis-ID it. Like, bro, what are we really doing here? Like, where do we go back and really? But this is, I think, where we go back where the money was all that mattered, and instead of educating yourself and really understanding what this thing is. I'm so lucky that I have you, that you two as two of my best friends in this game, and Joe and Dan, Vision Quest, shout out Dan, and Bilal in the beginning. I was educated. I was able to gather all this knowledge and understanding before I ever produced a clutch. I haven't been in the game for that long, significantly less, and I am confidently able to say I'm far ahead of people that have been in the game 10 years in my knowledge, my understanding, my accomplishments, my understanding of how to build collections, how to make pairings, how to forecast. But that's a lot of because of who I surrounded myself with and the knowledge that I was able to gather from guys like you. So if you're going in there and you're just thinking, I'm going to make this money, and you're not putting in the time and the work, you got to put in the effort. You got to put in the time. You got to put in the work to really understand what you're doing. Do you care? Are you passionate about it? Do you care? Or are you just out here fucking around?
Let me show you what people look like when they take shortcuts. They post snakes that are called Pompeiish.
That's some funny shit, bro.
What?
Pompeiish.
Bro, I cannot believe this is a real thing. I thought I thought the homie was just trolling a little bit in the chats, but this is legit a fucking ad on Morph Market, bro. Like, I just can't. And of course, there's shipping involved. $50.
$500, baby. $500.
It worked. He's probably telling his friends on the phone, guys, it worked. Make sure you
got some clicks.
Put Pompeiish. I'm telling you.
We made Trap Talk, baby. We made Trap Talk.
Dude, this is crazy, bro. Oh my God. I'm sorry, but that's why I cringe so much sometimes, because it's like, dude, that you didn't see stuff like that in 2017 at least, or like you like everything you saw for the most part. And unless it was a snake from Nerd, you knew what you were buying. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we're on fire tonight, bro. But seriously, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, like, I don't know, man. I'll never forget that ever in my life. Fire Pompeiish.
Pompeiish.
The 8 years I've been in this game, bro, I've never in my life seen something like that.
What Will's saying is 100% accurate.
Yeah.
We will be doing full panels.
Yep.
That's coming. If we're not there already.
When the price comes down, I think that's going to become the standard, especially on any animal that has value, and people aren't going to buy it without it. Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
At this point, why would you buy a posset? Why would you buy a posset on something of any value? I think this is the craziest shit. When you see $1,500, $2,000 animals that are posset, you want that much money and you couldn't spend $40 to fucking test it to be sure? What are we doing here? You can't be that cheap.
Yeah. Hey, I got to ask you first and foremost, like, what's been your take on I mean, it's died down a little bit, but there was a big topic on shed testing. People basically, you know, like you said, buying snakes, shed testing them, and then them coming back, not what they paid for. But then a lot of times the buyer blaming the shed testing company. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I could understand. I think I've said this on a previous episode, like on a previous show. Given the way that the DG thing went, I think that created a lot of that kind of distrust in some of the shed testing stuff and gave it a window for people to make those inferences. I think with some of those the YouTube channel shows and a lot more transparency to how the tests are made, what they test for. If anybody actually takes time to watch that, I think it helps you feel a lot more confident in that and comfortable in it. And then when you have bigger people where this is their livelihood, they don't want to have that on their reputation, and they are confident in the testing. I think that's all you really need to know. Until all these things that are testing have either come from sketchy people, right? Or it was like a legitimate situation where they're actually the ones who got screwed by something, right? And they didn't know. I don't know personally. I don't know. You're more in touch than me. Like, where has like a legitimate animal where it didn't test and like we can confirm like this animal tested inaccurately? It's all around. It's always surrounded by some like kind of weird details, right?
Well, I can't give you details on this, but I mean, I'll tell you a situation somebody was in. Somebody sold a sunset clown, visually a sunset clown. We could say when we could all look at a sunset clown and say, okay, there's a sunset clown. This person still thought it would be wise to test the snake anyways. And I guess their excuse for testing it was because they want to see if there was anything else in it, which, okay, that makes sense. Like,
that's fine. Yeah.
If it comes from a big dog, you're like, okay, you never know what could pop up, maybe, right? I guess. But apparently the test came back negative for clown.
Yeah, but I was told about that situation, and it ended up testing clown.
Yeah, but still, like,
yeah.
After what though? Like, did you know behind the scenes what was happening? Like the whole demanding of a refund and all this shit, it got aggressive. It got to the point where this person was threatening to expose this person for selling them a fake sunset clown, which who the fuck?
But it's clearly visual.
But it's clearly there. Right. But to make a deal out of that is just like some people, bro, they'll do some extra shit out there. That's why you gotta be careful. You really do.
Again, if there's ever anything that you don't agree with, the test could be rerun again.
Yeah.
So there was the one time that I had tests come back what I didn't expect. And what I made a couple combos that were 50% ultra, and one of them was like clearly like orange flaming up it. And I was like, oh, that's for sure the one that's going to prove. I tested them both, and they proved opposite. The one that looked plain and dull had ultra, and the really nice bright orange vibrant one was not. And I said, man, this must have been human error. You must have screwed it up. They retested it for me. It tested the same. I still didn't believe it and sent the test into the other company, and it tested the same. Okay. I guess it's got to be what it is. And sometimes that's the only situation I've ever been where I was like, I don't believe that. And they reran it for free. There was no questions asked. So I think if you're ever in that situation where you're like, hey, can we double check? I don't see how that would be an issue.
Yeah. And I don't know. Me personally, dude, I would just get in the habit of, like, if you're going to spend that kind of money on any snake, just always test it yourself. Like, we just had AG on, a guy who's like hasn't even really got his hands dipped into the breeding side yet, but he's obsessed with just testing everything because peace of mind first and foremost. But if you look at how it makes you look like on clutch and everything, sharp as fuck. Like, if you got all that shit, all your ducks in a row like that, people want to spend money with people like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look like you're all lined up and there's like there's not many questions I need to ask because you're showing me everything based off your clutch profile or whatever, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, that's how you get ahead of the curve.
Highlight Will's comment because that's 100%.
I trust it also more than most IDs. Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%.
Yeah, no question to that.
Yeah.
Oh. Listen, there's a lot of people out there that don't have a ton of experience. What we're saying is just retest. There is natural variability in the combos we're hitting and the animals we're hitting. I'm hitting animals off of supers that you know, you'd be like, oh my God, this is so different. It's just there's natural variability as well. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta trust the testing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
And there's just things that you should just do for your own sake, like, you know, for your own, like I said, like your own documentation, and just to make sure. And I don't know, like I said, the better you are at just getting used to this shed testing, dude, the more it's gonna make, the more easier it's gonna make you look like you know what you're like what you know what the fuck you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to get to this topic though, man, before we kind of forget, because we know there's so many things we can consider. And I got to say, first and foremost, shout out to Will, man. Will Moros is in the building. But he had a comment. I want to pull it up because he says that most people think when they get to the snake production side of things that it's it. Like they made it.
Mm-hmm.
They can celebrate. But that's literally like the 50-yard line. Like that's literally like half of the fucking goal to get to where you need to get. Let's talk about rodents, like feeding your collection.
Mm-hmm.
Were you always breeding your own rodents, or no? Or I'm just
I'm on. I think I was in probably a year before I started breeding my rodents. When the collection started growing, I breed ASFs because they're in my house and I have a small house and they don't stink, and that's what I can do. I still do buy rats also. I had done kind of a little test where I took these 3 sisters that all came out the same, and I ran one on ASFs, I ran one on rats, and I ran one alternating ASFs and rats. And after a year, they were all within 15 grams of each other. There was no fucking difference. They all grew the same. I weighed every rat. I made sure they were intaking the same weight.
JP,
it didn't change.
JP's gonna take that congratulations back.
It didn't change.
Hey, much love, JP. I have all 3 now.
I love ASF.
It's all good, bro.
I start all my babies on ASFs. My favorite thing about ASFs is like some of my males, like my Batman head Ultra and my Cypress Red Stripe Pos Wookie I got from Will. Shout out Will, that guy's a fucking beast. Yeah. But I give them ASFs and they keep eating. So there was when they stop wanting to eat rats, they keep eating ASFs. I think I have the best luck starting babies on ASFs. My cribbos love ASFs. I love having ASFs. My only issue with ASFs is how fucking long they take to grow up. I wouldn't mind feeding all of my adults that like I'm not intending to sell anytime soon. I wouldn't mind feeding them ASFs. But the motherfuckers take so long.
Are you giving them like are you giving like hard boiled egg or black oil, like black seeds or anything like that?
So
I noticed that's helped me at least.
I've switched around kind of my diet several times, and what I've landed on that I'm getting the most production on and the most consistent animals on right now. I'm feeding a combination of 20% protein cow food, multi-cat.
Cow?
Yeah, cow. I learned that actually from the guy I get my rats from, old school rat breeder.
Moo, you're talking moo cow,
yeah,
not
moo
cat.
Moo cow. But then I do that, and then I also do multi-cat, 31% protein multi-cat. So I do a combination of that, black oil sunflower seeds, and then I feed them a mix of fruits and veggies, man. Right now, it's mango season down here. They're eating mangoes every day. My girl mad as hell that I'm feeding the mangoes to the rats, not her. And it's like, but they tear that shit up. They love it. And in three years of doing ASS, this is the most production I've ever had. I can feed every week. I never got to take off. I'm selling them at the same time. This has been the best that has worked for me. I've tried calling back. I tried Missouri. I tried all that shit. It didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. This is working really well, and it also happens to be the most cost-effective food blend also. So.
Yep, 100%. I was kind of on that same tip, you know, because I've bred ASFs before, and I was like, God damn it, they take a lot longer than rats. But ever since KG put me on the high protein cat food with the black sunflower seeds, hard boiled egg like once a week, and I just love seeing them chow down. And I throw fucking like corn on the cob in there, like I'll throw fucking
yeah.
And I just love seeing them all go to eat. They all eat together. It's fucking cool, man. But I love ASFs, dude. I really do. The thing is, I can't produce enough big ones. That's my thing. I get perfect amount of hoppers, weans, like a little bigger size of weans. But when it comes to like needing ones for my emeralds, or not even my emeralds, way too small for my emeralds, but for my chondros, like it does take a little bit longer. Like I would say like those are more the retired ones, the ones that are done breeding.
Yeah.
And my ASFs breed for a long time. Like they're going strong. My colonies are fucking all getting along. I'm having a great time right now with my ASFs. I really am.
Yeah, ever since I used to deal with them eating their babies and all that, and changing my diet has worked really well. I do the same. I feed them corn, watermelon, collard greens, sweet potato. They get all of it, right? But I think I only ever get adults from my ex-breeders. I switch out my colonies every 4 to 5 months to keep them going fresh, and I have more in the tank ready to go because I found it takes about 12 weeks for them to get up to that kind of that size. Ex-breeders, when I'm weighing mine, my ex-breeders are somewhere between the 120 gram range, which is great for my breeder females. I load them up with them when I got to kill off colonies. But I think you know, to get into that 60 to 70 gram range, it takes like 12 weeks, and that's a long fucking time, man.
Yeah.
That is a long time to, and if you're looking at like, I have what, 70, 75 adult and grow up animals, right? You're talking about needing, if I was to go all in at ASF, you know, you're talking about needing 300 grow ups on hand at every moment.
Yeah.
That's a lot of, because you need, you know, for 4 weeks, it takes you 4 weeks to grow them up.
Yeah.
It takes you, you need you need 300, and then you need them for 4 weeks too. So you're talking about needing, you know, 800 rodents on a hand at a time to feed that entire collection because you need 12 weeks to grow them up.
Emilio, I got to ask you, Emilio,
Wow.
when do you retire your breeders, Emilio? Like, when do you look and say, okay, you're done? Like, how does that work?
I'm doing it faster now. It's you know, I'm using a lot of jumbo mice now. The ASFs, I mean, honestly, bro, they have a look to them, and you can see when it's time.
Yeah, they get these swords on them and shit.
Well,
tumors.
I don't get the swords. That I got a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm growing a lot of them now. I'm happy with them. I'm doing straight column back 23. I need to start maybe offering some cat food here and there.
Cat food's a game changer.
My thing is feeding all 3 prey items. For the most part, I agree with you guys. It's really, really, really difficult to have the appropriate size at all times.
Yep.
But it's great to have all 3. That's what I'll say.
And we can't, I can't help but to just notice this, because obviously JP has brought this up years ago, and I was paying attention to it too. But shout out to Antoine from Canada, because he put a whole video out, like the differences between ASFs and rats, and he was breaking down like husbandry wise, and even like the way they look like after they shit out of a snake. And dude, like I got a lot of my holdback chondros on ASFs, and they shit this perfectly roped fucking turd now. Like, instead of it being smeary, it's kind of like, whoa, that's a massive shit. They're not massive. They're just these perfect ropey shits with a little bit of urates. And I'm like, dude, that has to be easier to shit first and foremost. If it's coming out that perfectly formed, that thing's probably sliding out with ease versus like smeared shit on the tub. And like, you know, the poor snake's probably like, oh, I'm working with a monster. You know what I'm saying? And so, and we noticed it with some fucking ball pythons too, man. Like, how many fucking turds that are like eating some big size rats, and you're just like, oh my God. And sometimes it's not. Another thing too that Antoine brought up, sometimes you notice they don't always fully digest the rat. Sometimes like you see fur, or you'll see some sort of like, I've seen a claw one time where I'm like, is that the claw? And I'm like, what the fuck? And so I don't know, man. Like, you got to understand, like, what's good for the animal, even though we don't really know. I got to say, diet wise, I don't think there's anything better than an ASF for a snake. I really don't.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And we know, because there's reports online, like rats are very high in fat. They're significantly higher in fat than an ASF is. And it's the same thing. If you were to eat fucking a high fat diet every day, your shit would be fucking watery. Yeah, you'd be shitting all shitty too. It's the same type of concept. And there, you know, the couple animals that I have that will only eat ASF, like breeder girls that I have, you're absolutely right. You can tell the difference between the rat eaters, where you got this liquid kind of shit, it's smeared all over the tub. They're way bigger, they're way softer, and then the ASF eaters, it's just tight. It's always this tight dog poop looking turd in there.
Hey, Will made a good point too, because I could, obviously I feed off both. I have, I have a mice colony going out too, but you could definitely feel the thickness. Definitely feel the thickness of their skin and their coat. Like, it's a lot thinner on an ASF versus a fucking full, like an adult rat, bro. Like, dude, they have a thick ass fucking layer of skin.
I also think the ASF is a little bit more muscular.
Yeah, more protein.
It's taking longer to grow. It's running around more.
Yeah.
It's
a more nutritious meal.
It's working out more. That's what I see. But
technically, the rat's a higher calorie meal, but you're having a more nutritious meal with the
ASF. Now, when that ASF gets really big, I think you lose. I think it gains that fat that we're talking about in rats and mice, in my opinion. but most of us are not feeding that size ASF.
Yeah.
Right. Man,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
what I'm seeing on my end.
What JP's saying right now is 100% correct too, and I think that's I've said that on a couple shows before too. It's a more nutritious meal, and it works out better.
So if you have a snake that you know for sure you don't want to hold back, how are you feeding that snake then, Brock? Like with all the different options out there, what do you want your customers to take home?
So I start everything on ASF. They go 6 to 8 meals on ASFs. Usually I throw the first 2 hoppers in there, and then I start feeding off the tongs because I want them to more easily convert to frozen thawed. If I have a customer that buys and wants them on frozen thawed, I offer to do it for them before I ship it, and it's a lot easier if the snake's already used to having a rat shoved in its face on tongs. Once I get past that 8 meal, everything that I know is for sale, I switch over into fuzzies or pups, depending on how big the snake is, and I feed them that. So many people don't have access to ASFs, and they look at it as a negative thing. I want to make sure that I don't want to have that stop me from making any sale, any possible sale. I want to be able to offer that. So I have no problem in paying for the pups and the fuzzies for those for sale animals. All my holdbacks and all of my grow ups, anything that I bought and brought in, is eating ASF, and pretty much probably 3 out of every 4 meals is ASF. I'll mix in a rat like once a month. But they're eating that until I move them to an FB40. And once I move them into an FB40, then all of my snakes, I alternate rats, ASFs typically.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because we were going, fucking trap chats were fucking going off earlier today. One of the topics that I remember that I want to talk about tonight is tub size. I know Emilio had a snake ovulate that was, why don't you tell us the story, Emilio? She's being difficult. You put her in a smaller tub. Can you tell us?
So let me tell you the whole story. I had a female double het for Dream that I had sold to a friend of mine, and she just never, it was pre-sold, and she just never like figured shit out, man. So I just left her there in a V18, you know, she's there rent free, right? And here and there she would eat, right? Stayed super small. And this girl's 3 years old now. So this year during the breeding season, I see a little bit of different behavior after I put a male in finally to see, are you gonna make it or break it? You're gonna live or you're gonna die? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So I put a male in, and this girl was small. She must have been at least 700 grams. And I'll tell you, in the V18, they bred, and she took off, and she just ovulated in the V18. Yeah, and now I have to decide. Crazy. I'm gonna call, OG. I'm gonna call an OG or 2, and see what I should do in this situation. Let her get to her prelay, and then move her. Yeah, man, this shit was crazy. Listen, guys, before you try to flame me for breeding an animal in a V18, she did it, right? She fucking doubled her size. Almost doubled her size, and that animal is now going to be a solid animal, and it's going to live, and it's going to reproduce, and it's going to do what it's here to do. And guess what? It's paying rent now.
That's why, and not that we need to make this a topic, but man, the argument of ball pythons being in rack systems, dude, look what happens when you give them too much space. Like they don't, some of them shut down. They don't want it. They almost want to feel like they're tightly protected by something. I feel like, and it's it's
a couple times a year I sell a hatchling, and the hatchling was fucking slamming food. I convert it to frozen thawed before I sell it. It's slamming frozen thawed, but it's eating out of an FB5, and I send it to them, and they put it in a fucking 40-gallon with no cover on any of the sides, 2 little hides, nothing in there, and the snake won't eat. And they can't believe that the snake won't eat. It's a bad eater. I can't believe you did this. Were you being real about how it was eating? No, they don't want that. Oh no, but they need more space. That's too small of a tub.
Yeah. I want to bring this
up. You got to separate human emotions from your animals.
I want to bring this up because this is a good question. Because you got to think, right? Like sometimes genetically some things pass on down to the babies. And I know this because I know with chondros, if the mom and dad were shitty eaters, more than likely the clutch that you're going to get is going to have a bunch of fucking pain in the ass feeders. I'm wondering if you have a snake that was a slow starter or was just a pain in the ass, took years to breed, you know. Actually, I don't know. I don't think with ball pythons. No, actually, I don't think that's the thing with ball pythons. I really don't. Because I feel like there's a technique to feeding any baby when it's born. I really do. And if you stick to that technique and you get it to eat, once they fucking take that meal, it's on. It's unless you don't fuck with the husbandry, I think it's on. And I don't know that only because of chondros, this question had my head thinking, but we also got to think ball pythons are not chondros.
let me say this.
They're their own.
Sometimes animals need to figure it out.
Sometimes, yeah, true.
And they do, and then they become fucking amazing animals.
Yeah.
So I think certain genes have tendencies, but once you add something else to it, or you cross something else into that gene, I've seen that they become amazing eaters. I've had terrible starts become my best animals.
Yeah.
It depends, guys. That's what I would say. You know?
And this is why we always talk about ball pythons being like fucking tanks. Like they're built for greatness. Like they're not. I'm not gonna say it's hard to fuck up a ball python project, but god damn it, man! Like they give you a lot of they give you a lot of leverage. Like you get a lot of wiggle room to like get your first clutch. You know what I mean? It's not that difficult. Versus like chondros or something else or chameleons.
Mm-hmm.
Which
chameleons.
And I really feel like this has to be said. You're also, a lot of you out there are breeding immature animals.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
When you breed immature animals,
that's not good.
You're increasing the probability of producing weak animals. Yeah. So that's also part of it, bro. We're in a hurry.
I also think that, and this is another thing, and I've experienced this personally. I know Emilio's experienced this too. You can really fuck that snake up for its life, depending on how you choose to feed it and keep it for those first 3 months. If you are my favorite notorious maintenance feeder, and you're feeding it every 3 to 4 weeks, and you're feeding it a small meal, and it becomes a stunted, malnourished animal. You know what happens to that animal? It doesn't pick up when a year and a half later you start getting it rats and all that. That is now what it is and how it's trained. I've had multiple. I've had 2 snakes fucking die on me that came in stunted, that were way too small for their age. And they just they didn't want to eat. They didn't want to eat because they've now been fucking conditioned to not eat.
Yeah.
And they died.
Yeah. And that part of the snake's life with growing is so important at that age, man. That's the age. Why do you think motherfuckers feed a baby ball python three fucking times a week? Because you can. Like they're in that progression where they're growing, and so when you stunt that, bro, lifetime effect for sure. That's not a breeding animal.
On another thing, all of my holdback babies and my grow-ups, I feed them twice a week. I 100% feed them twice a week. I don't feed them giant meals twice a week. I'm slightly downsized on it, but they take it and they fucking grow and they thrive and they're happy. And this is why I got a DG clown. I was telling Emilio about this today. I got a 19-month-old DG clown that had 10 millimeter follicles. 19 months old, 10 millimeter follicles. She's a fucking tank. She eats every meal. I loaded her. I fed her twice a week until she was about 700-800 grams. Then she kept eating her small once a week, and she built, and she was there. She reabsorbed. She didn't end up going. But you when people talk about that, like a 19-month-old snake building follicles, she's happy. She's thriving. You can't tell me that because I fed her twice a week for a year that I did something negative to her. I can tell you if you fed your snake a hopper once every 3 weeks for 2 years, you fucked them up.
Yeah, it's funny to me how they tried to switch the narrative to, you guys overfeed your animals.
Yes, you tried to flip the script.
It's a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke.
Yes, JP. I 100% agree with you. One of my biggest triggers for a very long time has been maintenance feeding, because it was the first death I had. I bought a snake that came in and it fucking died because it was maintenance fed. And I was a little newer and I didn't have the experience that I now know and understand. I wouldn't do that again. And I don't do that to my animals.
Straight up, I have the Morph Market message where the person says to me, it must have been an employee, because if it was the owner, I doubt they would have said this shit. We have thousands of animals. We maintenance feed. Bro, just like that. Like, no shame, bro. None.
It's the maintenance feed that they're doing. When you buy an 18-month animal that's 187 grams, which I've personally received, I'm sorry, that is fucking animal abuse. It's animal abuse. You starved that animal. You made that decision because you what? Because you didn't have space for it to grow, to move it into a bigger tub, because you didn't have the money to feed it. Why the fuck are you producing so much then? Stop producing so much. Start producing better shit that actually sells and stop producing pastel clowns if it's that big of a fucking problem. I don't get the maintenance fee things. If we're in this because we care about our animals and we love our animals, and the best thing that we have is this opportunity to work with these fucking animals, why are you treating them that way? Why are you not giving them the best possibility? And by the way, an 18-month animal, an 18-month old animal that's 1,200, 1,400 grams, 1,000 grams is going to sell a lot better than an 18-month animal that's 180 grams.
Yeah, and I want to throw that bone out to anyone out there who, because you got to remember, not everyone really knows what a snake should fucking weigh at 2 years old, and that's why these people get had sometimes, because they find good deals and they don't even realize they're not putting the weight to the date of birth. They're just buying the snake, and then they get the snake in and they're like, holy shit, this snake's tiny. But like, if we were to talk about what you guys look for, let's say, Emilio, there's a snake that you find on Morph Market. It's 2 years old. How much do you want that snake to weigh? Let's say female. Like, in your eyes, what are you looking for number-wise where you feel, okay, that's the size I'm looking for?
A 2-year-old female should at least be 1,200 grams.
Yeah, 100%. Minimum.
You feel the same way, right, Brock?
Minimum. 1,200 grams.
What about male? What about male, guys?
A male at 2 years old?
At least 7.
900 grams to 1,000, 1,100.
I like to keep my males in the 750 to 1,000, 1,100 range.
I used to.
I hit that in the 12 to 13-month range, and I continue feeding a weaned a week, and some of them keep going up, some of them stay.
I want my males going forward 1,000 plus.
Okay.
And see, Emilio, you and I talked earlier today about like younger girls going, and I told you if they had the size and they could fucking do it. And this is why I'm so happy to have my own rodents in my own shack now, because motherfuckers like JP are getting their goddamn ball pythons to get to 2,500 grams at just 2 years old. That is fucking. Right. That's a lot of feeding, dude. But he's doing it.
I have a hurricane het clown that's gonna lay in 3 days. It was bred by Batman Het Ultra. It is 31, 3,200 grams. It's 2.5 years old.
All right, guys, look, it could be done. I'm doing it as well. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I'm not breeding young females, but I prefer babies from a mature female all day, every day. Take it to the bank. I'll throw my wallet on the fucking table.
Same. Any animal, anything, period.
That's all I'm saying, guys.
Maturity's always
not shitting on what we do. Yeah. It's just it comes with a higher probability of problems. That's
and you better know what the fuck you're doing. That's it.
Yeah,
you're right. Because I also had that experience a couple years ago where I wasn't mindful of the male I was pairing, and I fucking wiped him out. I didn't mean to overbreed him, and the room for error, after I realized that he was overbred and I put him away, he fucking just all of a sudden just went down and just passed away. And I was like,
I lost a male like that this year, and I wanted to cry.
Damn, I couldn't believe it. But also, it's like, dude, you can't fuck around. Like, you got to make sure this fool's eating, and you got to make sure you're not wasting locks. And like, and that was another reason why I was like, damn it, MJ, this is why ultrasounds are crucial, because you probably wasted a shit ton of locks on this dude.
I gained access to an ultrasound this year. A good buddy of mine, I help him out and take some of his snakes to shows. So he bought an ultrasound and he lets me use it. So I run it once a month now. Yeah, you learn real quick about how many locks you wasted. I got girls that are just now building that I'd locked up 5 times already in the beginning of the year, and they're just now building. Like, what a waste! What a damn waste!
Yeah, and let me tell you guys, just because a prior small male hit 5 girls in his first year doesn't mean another rookie male that's bigger is gonna be able to do it. You have to be on top of that male. You have to be on top of him. And you know what, bro? The shit happens, man. It happens. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Now, at the end of the day, Brock, we didn't really kind of dive deep as far as like what you're excited about as far as producing this year, what you have in store. But really, I want to know what the next couple of years, what you're really looking forward to when it comes to, you know, Ultra Male being your foundation. Like, what's going in it? Like, let's kind of talk about some of the future stuff you're working with here.
Yeah, we've talked about enough negative. Let's talk about positive, exciting shit, right? So this year is, you know, it's a big year. It's the first year we're getting an opportunity to produce a lot of cool shit. So I'm really, really excited where my Ultra Male clown stuff is going this year. I got my male is a Batman head Ultra. I still think Batman's a cool combo. I think the Batman Ultra is a cool combo. So I have two double hets that are already pre-laid, that are bred to him. So we're excited about the opportunities there. I have like I was saying earlier, I have the Hurricane Het clown that I'm really excited to make some spot nose Hurricane clowns that hopefully test positive for Ultra Male. I'm really excited about that. I have an Inchy Blackhead double het that I believe she started ovulating today. So that's going. I'm really, really excited to have an opportunity to make the ALS Ultra Clown, Blackhead Spot Nose Ultra Clown. I think is going to be fantastic. It hasn't been done yet, and having an opportunity to be one of the first into that angle, it's really exciting. I think the Blackhead Batman is dope, and it's going to look ridiculous in Ultra Male. So we're really, really fingers crossed and really, really excited about that. Even if we hit some heads, it's going to be really cool. Then we have a chocolate Ultra Male that is also bred by the Batman, and we're really hoping for some ALS there, some chocolate spot nose Ultra Male het clown stuff. That's for the future for Batman or for Dark Knight Ultras. I'm just super excited about what's happening with the Ultra Clown stuff that we have coming out right now. I got some opportunities to make stuff that hasn't been done. We're not just repeating a bunch of stuff, and I think there's some really awesome building blocks that are coming there too. And then, not the clown side, I got a really cool shot at some really awesome super blackhead ultras. So it's possibility for a super blackhead mahoganies that also has Spectre and Mystic in the mix. That girl is at 29 millimeters, so she's coming up pretty close. Really excited about that. Super Blackhead Ultra Male is cool. Super Blackhead Mahogany Ultra Male, like I really think that's going to end up being like a hella purple snake, like hella purple. If we get the Spectre in there too to enhance it, I think that's going to be just a badass fucking animal. I think it's going to be awesome. I think that's a good building block for the future. We got a bunch of Ultra Pied. What?
Passion projects, bro. Like
yeah,
we talked earlier today, and you have your passion projects. You're not focused on how much, you know, your ROI, right? You're focused on fucking hitting some amazing shit to show off, to flex for yourself, because at the end of the day, you're making these fucking beautiful animals for you, you know?
Bro, if I can hit, all this shit's gonna end up being holdbacks. So if I can hit the odds and I can get a chocolate spot nose ultra het clown, and I can get a spot nose Hurricane clown het ultra, and some Batman ultras, and then the blackhead Batman ultra. And then the super blackhead mahogany ultra. I'm so excited for those possibilities and just the opportunities to hit those animals, and all that shit's going. All of it's really going. Thanks to the ultrasounds. I know it's all going, and I'm like reserved on it because it's still got freaking 90 days because I'm still waiting on pre-lay sheds, and then they got to lay, and then we got to wait to cut the eggs. But I'm so freaking excited about that. Like, to me, if I hit a spot nose, a blackhead spot nose ultra clown, or a blackhead bat ultra, like that's a game changer. That elevates me in the market. It hasn't been done yet. It puts me in a different position. It puts some respect on my ultra game that I've been demanding for a long time. And it's something new that we get to see. And I think that animal is going to look so freaking incredible. And it just sets me up to do ridiculous shit next year when I have the Cypress Ultra Clown coming online next year. When I have, people don't know about that one. When I have the black pastel red stripe clown head ultra coming online next year. And now I have a blackhead bat ultra clown to put to it too. There's just the future. I couldn't be more excited. I couldn't be more excited about the possibilities that I have. I think there's less people working ultra clown stuff as like versus a DG clown, if you would, you know. So there's just less people doing it, and it's a market that I get to kind of pursue a little bit more exclusively on my own, and I couldn't be happier about it.
Go ahead.
Simply, guys, you got to take the good and the bad, bro. There's gonna be, loss in value here and there. but everything you just said, the last fucking 7 minutes or so, is what this fucking game is about. You got to take the good with the bad. You got to take the losses, and you got to take the, there's going to be wins. There's going to be a lot of wins, man. So that's what it's about.
There's monetary loss, and you and I were talking about it today. There's some shit that's going to be difficult to make back, even if you hit the animals. But it's like, but I don't care. I want to hit these animals. I'm so excited to hit these animals. Hey, maybe the odd gods will bless me because they fucked me last year, and I can hit a couple. I can hit a couple double visuals, and then somebody will buy one, and then all of a sudden your numbers look great.
Yeah, because, but all it takes is that one win from a clutch, bro, and it makes everything worth it. It's and all these things that you didn't hit, you don't even think about. Like it just all goes away. And you have excitement, Brock. Like you have what a lot of people don't have right now, excitement. Like you have things to look forward to, and that's what you need to fucking. That's for me always, bro. This whole time, I just always thought about what was to come, and I don't give a fuck how many days away it was. If I saw an ovulation, dude, I'm in my head, I'm partying. I'm like, I cannot wait to see these fucking babies. You know what I'm saying?
Just jacked up.
You need to do that. You need to do that, and it goes by quick. Trust me, it starts to fly by. So yeah, I'm real excited for you, bro. And I think just more importantly, like, you know what you want and you know what you're doing in this hobby. And I think, finding your place and your purpose is the biggest struggle for most people in here. They, they're in here because they love the animals, right? But then they think like, well, how do I really like make shit that's popping? And that's where it becomes chess, not checkers,
It's been like kind of the changes I've made over the last 2 years. It's really put me in a good position. I'm really happy about the changes I've done. I've streamlined things a lot more. It's a lot of Ultra Metal. It's a little bit of DG Clown because I love DG Clown, and that's more of a passion project for me. I just think it's amazing. I think those are some of the best double visuals that you can produce. And then it's some of the clown stuff, like that insane chocolate clown that you put a picture on the tab. I fucking think those animals are beautiful, and I'm breeding them because I have them. I'm growing up with them, breeding them because I want to see what I can do with it. You know what I mean? So
that's cool because some of the best visual DG Clown chocolate shit we've ever seen. That person's in the chat tonight. What do you know? Fucking JP.
Because of JP's super chocolate DG Clowns, that's why I bought a DG chocolate het clown to put to my to do my DG Clown stuff.
And the
animal's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
If you were to ask JP if he's excited about it, he's not, because he's all about the chondros. Hey, and all I gotta say is, got him. MJ got him on that one. I gave him that bug first and foremost. Got him.
That's one of the nicest combos ever made, and I gave him that respect.
Yeah, a long time ago.
That thing
I gave him that respect.
So nice.
What's wrong with giving people their respect, the respect they deserve? People, what's wrong with that?
Without being a cocksucker.
Yeah. Fuck.
My bad for giving props.
Oh my god,
it's crazy. People they're so jealous and butthurt about it instead of just being happy for everybody's wins.
One of the best combos ever made,
hands down. Yep. And again, that's why I'm excited to be working with what I'm working with in the ball python game. So there's so many reasons to be excited for. I don't know. I guess for myself, I can't speak for other people. I don't know what excites other people. That's for them to figure out.
They gotta learn that.
Yeah, I just know what excites me, and I know what excites you guys because you talk about it on the show and in person. So that's it, man. Let's just stay excited, okay? That's all.
If you aren't getting excited about this stuff, like and I know I've heard Emilio say this, if you wake up and you go in your snake room and you open tubs and you're not fucking excited, like maybe consider selling out and getting out. Like you should be so hyped up for this shit, and you might even look at it and be like, well, there's another X-1000 that I just burned. It's going out the door. I'm so fucking excited, bro. Every time I get to cut these clutches. You know what I'm excited for? You know what I'm really fucking jacked up for on the lowest of keys? Because I'm trying to do a show a month, and I'm up to my vending. I got some pet stuff, man. I'm hyped as fuck to cut a bell clutch. I got a bell to bell. I can't wait to open up a bunch of purple passions and bells. You know how fucking cool it's going to be? I've never hatched one before. And they're going to fly off the shelves at the show because that's a show animal. That's exciting. You should be excited about every fucking aspect of this. If there's a pairing you're not fucking jacked up about, bro.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I have a clutch of GHI Mojave stuff, and I'm like, dude, it's been so long since I made GHI Mojave stuff. Like, dude, these are going to sell great. And obviously they're hypo, but like, those are table snakes, right? They're all fucking gay, and they're eye candy. People love it.
So Morphinary Arts, MJ, Emilio, our friends in the chats, We're bringing people in this game. That's what matters. You're making the next MJ. You're making the next Brock, the next Emilio, the next JP, the next Bilal. That's our job. Okay? Take that shit serious.
I think we do.
You know?
100%.
That feels fucking good, man.
It does. And you know, go ahead, Brock.
I love when I do these shows and I'll get like a rash of messages from people like that I don't know that haven't had clutches yet, or they've had one clutch and they're inspired and they want to talk and they want to hear things and they want to ask questions. Like, I couldn't imagine that this would be me at that time before, but look at me. And again, it's because I surrounded myself with the right people, and I hope every one of those people that watches this that wants to reach out, I'm giving you permission right now. Reach out. I know we give some shit and I talk some shit, but I'm a fucking nice guy and I want to help you and I want to bring you in and I want to give you the right information. I want to get you set up. Join the V unit, join the trap, be surrounded by real ones that keep it 100, that are going to tell you the truth, that are going to do the right thing. They're going to show you the way to navigate this game. Don't be out there not knowing what you're doing, watching the fakes and not knowing what you're doing. Get with the real crew. We're going to take care of every one of you. It don't matter if you don't even own a snake. We've had people join that didn't even own a snake, but they wanted to learn. And guess what they did? They fucking learned.
Just have fun. At the end of the day, make it fun. Make it fun and make sure you never lose the fun. That's it. You know, and if you find yourself around people who aren't having fun, get the fuck away from those people. That's it.
Yep.
There's no time for that. Like, have fun. Because all be gone tomorrow, dude. You can walk outside, something bad could happen. All could be gone tomorrow. Just have fun. That's it.
And then one thing I got to say on the other part that I'm excited about. Hold on, because I know we're coming on 2 hours, and Emilio needs his beauty sleep. So, but one thing, let me tell you about what I'm excited. Let me tell you the thing that I'm the more excited than any fucking snake that I have too. So my daughter, she's 11 years old. Okay, she decided last year when she was 10, she wanted to get into crested geckos. She's always helped me with the snakes. She wanted the snake. This is how this whole thing started. She decided she wants to breed crested geckos. So I said, "You want to breed crested geckos?" Yeah, I made her drag it on for 6 months, and then she starts saving her money. She wants to breed crested geckos.
Yeah,
I bought her. I ended up having a situation where I could trade some of my ball pythons for some nice crested geckos, and I traded them for her, and I got her. It is the most fulfilling thing for me as a father, even better than any of these animals, to watch her and how she's developed and progressed. She's on clutch 12 of her crested gecko shit. She made this ridiculous phantom red lily that just hatched out last week. And just seeing her excitement and how she's gravitated to it and how she's done it, how she saves all of her money now, all of her birthday money, because she wants to make sure that she can invest it and put more into the animals. And just watching her, it's so important that this is a family thing, man. And if you got kids that you can involve in this and they're interested in it and they want to do it, like, foster that, man. It is more fulfilling than any snake I'll be able to hit. Her hitting her little things. And when she goes to the show and I get her a little table runner on my table, her Zozo's Geckos, shout out Zozo's Geckos on Morph on Instagram, go follow. And she got her little deli cups of her little geckos and she sells them and makes her $30, her 40, her $50. Like, that's going to be the most fulfilling reptile thing that I've ever done in this hobby. And that feeling right there, like what this can do for you and this hobby can do for you as a family, as a man, as a person, and everything that we can do. There's nothing better out there, man. There's nothing better out there.
It's about the kids. I love it.
I'm so happy about it.
Good. All right, let's get to the wrap-up topic of the episode. I'll go first, and then we'll hit Emilio's. At the end of the day, Brock, we touched a little bit about tonight's title, but when should somebody actually look themselves in the mirror and say, this ball python stuff just isn't it for you? Like, when does somebody need to come to that realization?
So I actually was in a situation, I haven't talked about this before, where somebody, and this is when you have to go out, when you aren't taking care of the animals, when you're neglecting the animals because you're too depressed, because you're so worked up, because you're so lost on the money and all that stuff. Yeah. That's time to get out. When the animals aren't getting the care, and I had somebody who spent a lot of money who surrendered the animals because they were dying and he wasn't taking care of them anymore. And he surrendered a bunch of animals. You have to understand that, and you need to look at that and look at yourself in the mirror. When you're not having fun, when you're not enjoying it, when it's becoming a detriment to your life, when you can't wake up and be excited about it and want to go in and give these animals the care they need. They're living animals that depend on you. And when you can't provide that, you have to get out. You cannot continue to stay in. It's unfortunate that some of the people have to get to that. I wish that you would consult with people like us you know, with groups to get turned around, to get steered in the right direction, to be in the right place. But when you get to that point, man, you got to get out. When you're not having fun, when you're not enjoying it, when you're more worried about the money than the animals care, when you're making decisions like maintenance feeding because you need to save a buck or because you don't have the space, you got to really rethink what you're doing.
Or what if you're calling shit Pompeiish?
You should probably reconsider what you're doing too.
I'm just kidding. I had to throw that out there. But Amelia, I want to get your take, man. You mentor a lot of people. When would you actually like tell somebody like maybe this just isn't it, or you know, whatever? Like when do you feel like someone should cross that road?
Well, it depends on the situation, right? If someone got way in over their head, I would tell them, look, just you know, move 80 and 90% of the collection, keep something, make sure that way you can make sure you want to get out, because what happens is a lot of people come back, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or
wait, hold on. Or I can't stand this, and I try to just at least be cordial to these people, but the people who make a whole scene about getting out and they don't even get out. It's like why the fuck are you here? You just made a whole post and here you are. I don't get it.
They're trying to sell animals,
or they want attention,
bro,
or they want fucking attention. They want.
Why are you making a scene when you get out? Just list your animals and sell them. Why are you making a fucking big deal about
they
it?
want
Nobody
the
gives a fuck.
attention, the extra attention that maybe someone will look at what they have available. I mean, that's what I think.
It's to sell the animals, but you're also now have shown that you want to get out, so those animals are now bottom dollar. No one's paying for it. If you just list the animals, you might get higher value.
Yeah,
Stop making these sympathy.
Yeah,
on
for
outposts,
sure.
bro.
I agree
it's
with
pathetic.
you.
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
leave.
Hate to say it, but nobody cares.
No, nobody does. Nobody does.
Sorry.
The Jurassic Park. The Jurassic Park.
Unless-
look,
unless-
he's leaving. See, nobody cares.
Unless it's your homie or someone that you kind of, I don't know, look up to, or someone that you really have respect for, nobody cares.
Mhm.
You know, and if it's your homie, you're trying your best to keep your homie from getting out.
And if your homie was purple shirt guy, I'm sorry. not the one to be mentored by.
Yeah, man, I have to say, purple shirt guy was so
Jeez.
90s.
That guy was a waste.
He was like 1980, like all over again.
I'm not gonna lie, his beginning stuff did inspire me. Like I remember like 5 years in, I'm like, he's wearing the same shirt. Like it's still like, and it's almost has the same crease and the same, like, it almost looks like he is the same like oily person he was fucking 8 years ago. And I'm like, did he not like make any money? Like I don't know how people don't like get better. Like me, I've gotten so much better being in this game. And I don't know how people weren't able to do that with all the money. Like there had to be a point in time he was making a lot of money. Like there had to be. What do you do?
Sure.
What the fuck would you do with that opportunity? I don't know the guy. Never know. Like I said, and nothing against him. I hope he's doing well. But that was like the way he went out. And also, mind you, he was shitting on higher end projects before he left. Like he was telling people how don't even waste your money and like kind of pushing this agenda, how like you want to stay in this lower end. And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Just because you failed miserably, you don't need to go fucking encourage people not to go invest. Like that doesn't make sense. That's why I go in so hard on the fucking dude. But god damn, that what a woo. Just saying, there are people who legit were like mentored by that guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. What you got, Big E? Why don't you take us home, man? What's your topic?
I usually ask people where they think they're going to be in the next 5 years. That's not where I want to go. Because our stuff is always evolving, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't even know this, and you're one of my best friends. What's that pinnacle animal that you want to produce in the next 5 years, 3 to 5 years? Like pinnacle, like that shit. It pops up in your mind like right now.
2 animals: yellowtail cribbo, crossy African file snake.
Damn.
Nah, man. Okay, I got you on that, but I was talking about
You
ball
asked the
pythons.
animals. You didn't say ball python. You said animals.
The guy only answered your question. He answered your question.
Animals.
Okay, I got you. You know I want to do that too.
That was great.
That
was great.
Okay, for ball pythons, it is super blackhead, mahogany, yellow belly ultrapides. I think we saw a good base. There was the super blackhead leopard Mojave bananas that Candy Shot ball pythons made last year. That when they came out, they were straight purple. I think I think that's obviously the super blackhead is the base to cause that, and then I think adding in mahogany or suma even on top of that, this is where you're going to get that straight purple ball python and that purple pied that actually holds its color. That is, I'm excited to see what I can do with that and where it's going to go.
Yeah,
I think, yeah, I think I should make, like I said, hopefully we'll make super blackhead mahogany ultra mill this year, and then make super blackhead ultra pieds next year, and then figure out how to put them together in the next 5 years. So,
damn, it's crazy, man. 5 years is it's gonna be here quick.
yeah,
just based off the way things are headed, how quick things are moving in the ball python game. Like 5 years ain't shit.
Yeah,
it isn't. It goes so fast. Yeah.
The first 5 was already almost over for me. It went quick.
Yeah. Well, dude, I'm glad you came back. I'm happy we got this round 2 in. This obviously won't be the last time we'll ever see you on Trap Talk. Like you said, it's your 5th appearance. So I'm looking to have you back on again at some point just to chop it up, Brock. But I will say I appreciate you being so authentic, you being a real one to anyone that's in your circle, bro. Like I know I see how you move, and I see how honest you are to people. And I think that's the one thing I wish we could get better at in this hobby is just keeping it real. Like just, like I get it. Like, yeah, we care about our feelings, but can we help each other by being honest to each other? I think a little bit. That's
100%,
all.
100%.
Yeah.
That's a sign of respect to be honest with each other. And when you sugarcoat and gas shit up that isn't real, you're not doing that person a service. You're not helping them.
People always give me props on how real I am, but you want to know the times where I don't say anything and I'm not real? People I don't want to talk to. Just fuck, like, just like people I don't care for. You're not going to get any of my time. You're not going to get any of my advice. You're not going to get anything. Not even a fucking conversation. I don't give a fuck. I ain't got time to waste. I really don't.
Yeah.
So, all right, go and drop your plugs, bro. Where should people follow you? Throw it all out there.
Morphinary Arts, Morphinary_arts at everything. Most active on Instagram. We're also on TikTok and YouTube. We're also on Morph Market. Check out our production. We only got 3 animals right now, but I got 6 clutches in the incubator and 8 I'm waiting to drop. So it's all coming. If you love Ultramel, they call me the Ultramel gods. So you're gonna come and find it. The Ultramel god. You know what I mean? So you want that quality line? You want that quality line of Ultramel? And I say it in all my posts. You want that different line of Ultramel? You come see your boy. You come see your boy.
Theo Ultramel.
And on the other one, if you want, I have proven out the black pastel and all my Ultramel stuff is the third line, is the unknown third line of it's that top left one right there. If you click on that, yeah. That's the third line of black pastel. It has been proven out. It's not Barnhart. It's not regular. It is fucking ridiculous. It is super orange, and the pattern that it puts into the Ultramel stuff, it's retarded. So if that's something you need to get your hands on, you want to move your Ultramel stuff moving forward, get at your boy.
So this is a scrambler black pastel. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, scrambler. Let me sell it.
Oh, that's nice, dude. Well, listen, I'm excited to see what the future holds for you, bro. I can already feel good things, man. So, guys, make sure you give my man Brock a follow. You can find all the links in the description below, and just be ready for his next appearance here on Trap. But give it up. It's a wrap for Brock, Morphinary Arts, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate y'all.
Hey, have a good night, Brock. I appreciate it. Peace. Hey, that was a good episode.
I think people need to hear shit like that.
I mean, they're going to hear it. Bro, here's the thing. Say what you want about Trap Talk, but you come and listen anyways. They always come and listen. So they're going to hear it. Trust me.
No, great episode. I feel like it's stuff that sometimes people got to hear, man.
Yeah.
It's not all, what is it, butterflies?
Peaches and creams or fucking whatever. Peaches and rainbows or unicorns and rainbows. Whatever, dude. It's not. Go ahead.
Life and this game is hard.
Life's hard. I mean, let's be real.
You could fucking like do whatever you want and try to paint it a different way. It's not easy. So
I think, and I think it comes with, as you get older in life. Like for me, I felt like I spent too much of my life looking on how to make things easier and more comfortable. Fuck that, dude. Like you're better off getting in situations that aren't so easy. You get used to shit like that, bro. But when life does hit you, it's not as hard, That's why I like Green Tree Python so much. I mean, all the amount of fucking balls, or other times I've been kicked in the nuts by Green Tree Pythons, you know what I'm saying? And you just don't give up. And I'm sure, dude, once you get to breeding Crebos, it ain't gonna be no walk in the park for you. It's not gonna be it. I already know breeding Caribos for you are not going to be like ball pythons in the beginning. You're going to be up. You're going to be up nights sometimes trying to figure shit out. But that's what you want. I feel like that's what you're purposely after, Emilio, because you know that it's growth. You know.
Yeah, the challenge, getting better. You know, becoming a better keeper, a better breeder, a better. I mean, every day we should be looking to become a better person. So
yeah, and you know, honestly, it's man, my whole life. You know, I don't know. I always wanted to be around shit that made me better overall, and the reptile world is it. Like this is why I do protect what we have so much, Emilio, because I love this world, bro. Like it's getting me better. I'm not even at my full peak yet. Neither are you. Like think about it. Like let's think about, we stay on this track that we're on. Think about what the fuck we're gonna be like in the next few years. Untouched.
Yeah, we can't believe that we've peaked. If we believe we peaked,
fuck no.
We're done.
Only the beginning, dude. That's why I tell myself, even this year with 70 chondro eggs in the incubator, it's only the fucking beginning.
Yeah,
Joe.
let me tell you, epic, bro, epic, and I can't wait to see it all. I know how hard you worked towards that goal. I know all the potholes, the pitfalls. I know it all. So, man, I'm there with you. I'm super happy for you, bro. Can't wait to see it.
And I'm happy, like somebody like yourself who's been around. Like I've shared my failures with chondros with you. I mean, there was a time where you felt so bad for me. Remember, Emilio? You're like, damn. Like, remember, like I was kind of just. It was one after another. But dude, you know, you just told you don't give up. And at the end of the day, I love my life. To do what we do on a day-to-day basis, bro. What a dream! It's a fucking dream.
Yeah,
so,
and what I love is that most people don't share those failures.
No, because it's hard to. Trust me,
you're giving the audience and the viewer and that up and comer the real deal, the raw real deal.
And I showed my failures before I got any success, which was the hardest part. Because when you show nothing but failure, of course you have those people who think that's all you do. But at the end of the day, no. Like I knew my circle. You know, I had people like fucking Marshall, Bill, Gary, Socrates. Like, and I knew it was just a matter of time. You get dialed in, just like anything else in life, right? You get dialed in, it's just a matter of time, and things will happen. So, yeah. All right, listen, guys. Emilio Villarino Reptiles. You need to subscribe to the V Unit fam for real. Shout out to the V Unit fam. It was the support was thick in the chats tonight, dude. So
yeah,
shout out to the V Unit fam and all the trappers. Find all the links in the description below. Go ahead.
We're gonna have more round twos.
Yeah, for sure. There's plenty of people we need to bring back.
Yeah, so
if you guys thought tonight's episode was good, be ready. There's gonna be a lot more of this. So, but yeah, give it up. It's a wrap for Big E, Top G.
Good night, guys. Good night, brother.
Hey, good luck tomorrow, bro. Good luck.
Thank you, bro.
All right. Thank you to everyone who tapped in tonight, guys. Before you head out, please hit that like button. Let's get the likes up for Brock. Let's get the likes up for Ultramel. And yeah, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. If you select all, you'll be reminded of every podcast release out of the network 7 days a week. The only reptile network that gives you a new episode every day of the week, Monday through Sunday. Don't forget all the major audio platforms. If you're not a YouTube person, you just want to hear these on the audio while you work, go hit up Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Buzzsprout, and don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on all those platforms. And also, don't forget, if you want exclusive content, you want to get more behind the scenes of what I have going on, come join the Trap Talk Patreon family. You can do that by clicking the first link in the description below. Trap Fest is this Friday, and of course, don't forget the Reptile Super Show going down this weekend. So, yeah, man, if you want to go have some fun with some of the best keepers in the game, come join the Trap Talk Patreon family. First link in the description below. Of course, before you guys leave, make sure you guys check out the sponsors and have a good night. Shout out to USARK. One of the biggest growths we have in the reptile industry today are the rare species of reptiles that aren't worked with. That's right. That's why I went ahead and partnered up again with Brian Susan over at SUNDOWN Reptiles. Brian works with species such as kahua geckos, gargoyle geckos, all species of tree monitors. He works with Abronia and many other cool species geckos that you can check out all on his website. Head over to sundownreptiles.com, see what he has available. Brian's one of the best doing it in the reptile industry today. He's been on the show multiple times, so make sure you check out all of Brian Susan's episodes on Trap Talk Reptile Network. But more importantly, for the highest quality of captive bred reptiles, make sure you head over to sundownreptiles.com and make sure you give him a follow on Instagram. Thank you again, Brian Susan over at SUNDOWN Reptiles. podcast. One of the things I love about being a part of the reptile industry is all the learning, okay? Learning can be fun, and I can prove that to you. Thank you so much to today's sponsor, it's Gary Scavino over at GS Reptiles. I highly recommend you head over to his YouTube channel, follow all this man's content when it comes to learning about rare species of snakes you could be keeping in the hobby, and also just finding out how easy a lot of these rare species of snakes are to keep in general. So thank you so much, Gary Scavino of GS Reptiles. Again, head over to his YouTube channel. Also head over to his Instagram to be on top of all of his current work and be ready for a big year over at GS Reptiles. Thank you so much, Gary, for your ongoing support. I really appreciate it. Cheers.